Hey everyone, I'm just casually here to study, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask anytime. I'll just be, yep, just chilling.
超えるっていう説です。で、この世を詰めるっていうのは、寿命が短くなる、命を縮めるっていうイメージがあります。な寿命が短くなる、命を縮めるっていうイメージがあります。なんか、こう、危ないからやめなさいじゃなくって、親の死に目に会えなくなるよ、親の死に目に会えなくなるよって言われるのが、ちょっと結構かなりインパクトが強いですよね。そう。でも、日本の迷信って、こういうものが結構多いんですよね。もう怖がらせて生活習慣を守らせるみたいなね。そういうもう怖がらせて生活習慣を守らせるみたいなね。そういう感じですね。最後は、霊柩車を見たら親指を隠せ。霊柩車を見たら、霊柩車を見たら親指を隠せ。です。
How you doing, Len J7? I'm pretty much doing what exactly you requested. So once in a while, I'll just stream and yeah, feel free to just talk and ask questions anytime about whatever I'm doing. It's just doing what I usually do as a routine.
最後は、霊柩車を見たら親指を隠せ。です。この霊柩車っていうのは、亡くなった人を運ぶ車のことです。亡くなった人を運ぶ車のことです。で、日本では霊柩車を見たときに親指を隠す人がいます。で、日本では霊柩車を見たときに親指を隠す人がいます。で、こうやってぐっと手の中に親指を入れるんですね。こうやってぐっと手の中に親指を入れるんですね。で、子供の頃、もう霊柩車を見て、急いで親指を隠したっていう経験がある人も多いんじゃないかなって思います。経験がある人も多いんじゃないかなって思います。で、なんでこの親指を隠すのかっていうと、なんでこの親指を隠すのかっていうと、理由はこの親指に関係しているんですけど、日本語では親指の親っていう漢字は、日本語では親指の親っていう漢字は、お父さん、お母さんっていう意味ですよね。なので、霊柩車を見たときに親指を隠すっていうのは、霊柩車を見たときに親指を隠すっていうのは、親が早く死なないように守るっていう、そういう意味があると言われています。なんかちょっとね、不思議ですよね。うん。なんかちょっとね、不思議ですよね。うん。で、私が今でもね、はっきり覚えているのが、保育園からの帰り道に、信号待ちをして保育園からの帰り道に、信号待ちをしていたら、霊柩車が通ったんですね。で、その時に、お母さんに、舞ちゃん、親指隠さなきゃダメ。で、その時に、お母さんに、舞ちゃん、親指隠さなきゃダメだよって言われたんですよ。で、その時は、この迷信を知らなかったので、なんでって思いながらも、隠さなきゃダメなんだって言ってすぐ、両手の親指を隠しました。すぐ、両手の親指を隠しました。で、その後に、なんでダメ
For the English subtitles, not at all, because I'm pretty much like staring like at her forehead. Pretty much gives you like the subconscious sets mindset because if you pretty much like closer to the text, you're more likely to be using your consciousness. So you want to pretty much get away from the text as much as possible. The English is there to clarify the whole meaning of the whole definition, which makes it a lot easier. And I just recommend you pretty much aim if the person is in this video, just focus like looking at their forehead or something, because that keep your subconscious mindset on and to prevent using your consciousness, if it makes sense.
ダメなのってお母さんに聞いて、この迷信の理由を教えてもらったんですね。で、その時に初めてこの、迷信のことを知りました。で、それから霊柩車を見るたびに必ず、もう急いで親指を隠していました。必ず、もう急いで親指を隠していましたね。そう。もう最近はね、全然霊柩車って見ないんですけど、でも、もし見たら、今でもやっぱりとっさに親指を隠してしまうと思いますね。はい、今日はですね、日本の名詞についてお話ししていきました。いかがでしたか？変だなって思うものもありましたよね、きっとね。でも、日本の迷信をよく見ると、ただの怖い話っていうだけではなくって、死に対する恐れだったりとか、死に対する恐れだったりとか、あとは夜は危ないから気をつけようっていう、そういった考え方。あと、家族を大切にしたいとか、子供をしっかり守りたいっていう、気持ちが見えてくるんですね。子供をしっかり守りたいっていう、気持ちが見えてくるんですね。なので昔の人は、やっぱり今みたいに電気もなくって、なので昔の人は、やっぱり今みたいに電気もなくって、本当に夜は、暗くて危なかったんですよね。本当に夜は、暗くて危なかったんですよね。だから、そういう迷信を使って、子供に危ないことをさせないようにしていたのか子供に危ないことをさせないようにしていたのかもしれませんね。もちろん、今は、もう全部嘘だよって思う人も多いです。でも、やっぱり日本人の中には、信じてはいないんだけど、なんとなく気になるなっていう人も結構いますね。皆さんの国にも面白い迷信だったりとか、あとは有名な迷信って何かありますかね？もあとは有名な迷信って何かありますかね？もしあったらぜひコメント欄で教えてください。はい、それでは本日も最後まで聞いてくださってどうもありがとうございました。
誰やねーん。
はい。
多分知らない人が来てると思うんですけど、ちょっと自己紹介だけ軽くお願いしていいですか？
こんにちは。ジマと言います。4年前ぐらいにトマホークと縄文人とかと一緒に、4年前ぐらいにトマホークと縄文人とかと一緒に YouTube を撮ってました。はい、お願いします。
で、ここが、動画上では5年ぶりになるのかな？
そうやな、5年
なるよね。たまになんか5年ぶりになるのかな？
そうやな、5年
なるよね。たまになんか曲のクレジットでいたりするけど、曲作ってくれたりしてる人、たまになんか曲のクレジットでいたりするけど、曲作ってくれたりしてる人、だけど動画外ではたまに曲作ってくれたりしてる人、だけど動画外ではたまに電話したりとかはあるけど、
言うても
動画外ではたまに電話したりとかはあるけど、
言うて毎年会ってない。
毎年会ってるか。
一応。
毎年帰ってきてるのか。
一応。
毎年帰ってきてるのか。で、説明すると、高校の同級生で一緒に YouTube を立ち上げた人。
そうや。
YouTube を立ち上げた人。
そうやね。
だからそれ、ともきチャンネルの創設メンバーみたいなもんやんな。
初期面
よな。最初2人でずっとやってたから。で、俺が初期面よな。最初2人でずっとやってたから。で、俺が YouTube 始めたきっかけもこの男なんで。YouTube 始めたきっかけもこの男なんで。っていう人と再会したというわけですけど。縄文人とフッカーと。縄文人とフッカーとも4人で活動してたけど、2人はなんか再会感あったけど、俺らはもうよく喋ってるから電話で。
そうやな。疎遠ではなかったよね、ずっと。そうやな。疎遠ではなかったよね、ずっと。
疎遠ではないな。
結構
物理的に遠いだけで。物理的に遠いだけで。
長い付き合い。
長い付き合い。
高2からじゃない。
長い付き合い。
高2からじゃない。
高2やから16ちゃう。16、17。
そうや、16、17。
もう9年ぐらいじゃん。
そうや、確かにもう9年や。
9年か。 でも高1からさ、一応まあ認識してた。でも高1からさ、一応まあ認識してた。でも高1からさ、一応まあ認識してたとしたら、別に15、6からやから、もう20年ぐらいじゃない？あ、じゃあ、ごめん。10年ぐらい。
10年やな。うん。
そうやな。知り合って10年ぐらいよ。
うんうん。
で、一緒に YouTube もやってた。
そうやな。
俺が一番長い友達かもしれない。
ああ、ありがとう、ありがとう。
そう、中学校とか小学校の同期あんま会ってないから。
うん。
そう、中学校とか小学校の同期あんま会ってないから。
うん。
っていうジマに来ていただきました。
はい。
っていうジマに来ていただきました。
はい。
はい。まあ、今のエンディングの作者でもあるよね。
あ、そう、浪人様はね。
なんか、いろいろ、
あ、そう、浪人様はね。
なんか、いろいろ要素が多いな。なんか、説明しにくいな。
まあ、それ確かにね。
まあ、簡単に言ったら創設メンバーみたいな。
あ、それ確かにね。
まあ、簡単に言ったら創設メンバーみたいな感じ。
うん、そう。昔からの付き合いというか。
なんかさ、だからそう、ちょっと、まあ、結構被ってるところは多いんやけど、
うん、
まあ、それまでの人生。
昔からの付き合いというか。
なんかさ、だからそう、ちょっと、まあ、結構被ってるところは多いんやけど、
うん、
まあ、それまでの人生とかも聞いていきたくて。
はいはいはい。
ここ数年の話はあんま知らん。聞いていきたくて。
はいはいはい。
ここ数年の話はあんま知らんから。
あ、オッケーオッケーオッケー。
そう、その辺もちょっと人生を聞いていきたいと思うんですけど、
うん、
まず、幼少期は、これ出身地出してたっけ？
出身出して、そう、出身は大阪府枚方市ですね。はい、クズハです。はい。
俺らもさ、サイバー28っていう曲は、クズハで撮った。俺らもさ、サイバー28っていう曲は、クズハで撮った。地元で撮ったんや。
来てくれたんや。来てくれた。
そうそう、ジマの地元で撮ってて、クズハ出身。いいところっすよね、
あれ。結構だから恵まれてる地域というか。結構だから恵まれてる地域というか。
あ、そうなの？
駅も近いし、いわゆるそのめっちゃヤンキーみたいな人誰もいなかった。
はいはいはい。
いわゆるそのめっちゃヤンキーみたいな人誰もいなかった。
はいはいはい。で多分俺の生まれたところとめっちゃ似てて、結構多分境遇が似てたんやな、多分。まあそうやな、その別にお金で不自由したような感じじゃないし、そうやな、その別にお金で不自由したような感じじゃないし、親の職業って言ってたっけ？
教師やな。
そうそう。親の職業って言ってたっけ？
教師やな。
教師？
うん、教師。学校の先生。
教授は言ってない？
教授ではないよ。それは祖母というか、おじいさん。
あ、祖父？
あ、そう、祖母です。ごめん。おじいさんみたいな。
おじいさんが大学教授？
やったけど、今は違うと思
う。違う？どこ大とか言ってない？
あ、福井大やったかな。福井大やったかな。
言っていいの？
いや、もういいんじゃない？もういいんじゃない？多分。やめてる。いや、もういいんじゃない？もういいんじゃない？多分。やめてるし、も
う。だから、教育家系なんやな。なんか。
まあ、確かにそう。
だから、教育家系なんやな。なんか。
まあ、確かにそうやな。
教授と教師みたいな。
うん。
教師の家庭って厳しかったりする？
いや、俺なんかお母さんが
教師の家庭って厳しかったりする？
いや、俺なんかお母さんが厳しかったな、結構。
ああ、言ってたね。
まあでも、俺、
ああ、言ってたね。
まあでも、俺は塾とか行ってなかったけど。
あ、そうなの？塾なしずっと。
塾なし。塾なしず
っと。
塾なし。
高校受験も大学受験も？
ずっと自分やな。
すごいな。
まあお母さんがちょっと勉強を教えてくれたりとか。
そうか、教師やから。
あったの、なんか。
高校教師なの？
高校教師、どっちも。
そうなんや。
そう。
それは強いわ。
英語の先生。
英語得意なんか？
得意じゃん。
得意や。ルワンダ語が得意か。
気になるルワンダ語とラオス語とタイ語が。
ちなみに俺、ルワンダの TikTok 出たことあるよな。
そう、あれめっちゃバズって。
バズってる？
Nici toată mă hoc. Ndi, îmi neșuri, nu bea bani. Dacă cânda. Mâna coze. O divizie ceane.
めっちゃバズってる。
ルワンダではバズってる。
めっちゃバズってる。
ルワンダではバズってるのかあれ。
9万再生ぐらい言ってた気がする。
この9万
再生ぐらい言ってた気がする。
この9万再生って日本だったらさ、あんまりやんか。でもルワンダやったら多分めっちゃバズってるよね。
そう、ルワンダも人口はやっぱり日本。
再生って日本だったらさ、あんまりやんか。でもルワンダやったら多分めっちゃバズってるよね。
そう、ルワンダも人口はやっぱり日本で1億人ぐらいやけど、ルワンダは1000万人ぐらいやから。
だから10分の1ぐらい。だから日本で90万再生ぐらいでございます。 ルワンダ語を喋る面白日本人みたいな。
そうそうそうそう。
もうやってる。
うん。
で、まあそのまま教師の家庭で、やってる。
うん。
で、まあそのまま教師の家庭で結構厳しかったと。
厳しかったね。
勉強しろみたいな感じ。
そうやな。やっぱりなんかその、いわゆる一般的なレールというか、いい高校、いい大学に行って、いわゆるいい仕事について、そのままちゃんとずっと働くみたいな。でもいわゆるまあ今の日本でいう一般的なルート。
はいはい。
(10대) 친구들, MZ들이 너무너무 좋아하는 그런 친구인데 드디어 헬스클럽에 모셨습니다. 제 친구예요. 모셔볼게요. 제이나! 와! 여기 와! 안녕하세요.
Technically, for each language, I do 5 minutes of real time, but Japanese and Korean are the hardest, so I had to emphasize more time in those. I give them about 15 minutes. I did already my 5 minutes about a few hours ago, and this is my second session. Yeah, I just happen to have a lot of time since recently I got laid off, so I pretty much applied to jobs and doing this at the same time. So I'm pretty much multitasking. Yeah, but Korean and Japanese, 15 minutes of real audio a day, and then the rest like 5 minutes, because those are just going to build foundation. But this one I need to emphasize more due to my need for traveling next year. My goal is to go to Japan and Korea next year, so I just had to improve the listening portion and attend classes when I need to. But yeah, pretty much 10 minutes in this session. Exactly.
드디어 나왔어요.
진짜 언제 불러주나 기다리다가 드디어 나왔어요.
드디어 나왔습니다.
안녕하세요. 혜련이 친구 예나입니다. 오늘 카메라 되게 많다.
혜련이 친구.
혜련이 친구. 오늘 우리 약간 좀 바뀌었잖아요.
그러니까 저 약간 예나 나온다 그래가지고 예나 느낌으로
좀 반대로 언니 거 나온다고 제가 이전에 찾아본 게 채원이
느낌으로
좀 반대로 언니 거 나온다고 제가 이전에 찾아본 게 채원이 편이거든요. 혜련처럼 입고 가야지.
한번 여기 올려야지. 앞머리도 자르고
우리 약간 살짝 바뀌었어요.
그러니까
제가 좀 언니 무드
자르고
우리 약간 살짝 바뀌었어요.
그러니까
제가 좀 언니 무드로 그래. 한잔 할까?
내가 언제 그랬어?
그래. 한잔 할까?
내가 언제 그랬어?
한잔 할까? 우와, 야무지다. 진짜 이거 해주셨네요?
응.
두루치기
먹고 싶다 그래.
야무지다. 진짜 이거 해주셨네요?
응.
두루치기
먹고 싶다 그래가지고.
대박이다.
왜 그냥 말해본 거였어?
네, 하나만 되는 줄 알고 제가 물회가 제일 최애라서 물회 얘기하고 혹시 되면은 두루치기 얘기했다가 아닌 것 같다 해서 말 안 했는데 두루치기도 해주셔가지고 감사해요.
생각보다 입맛이 어른들 입맛이야.
약간 술안주 입맛이죠.
술안주 입맛이야.
식당 가더라도 술안주 입맛이죠.
술안주 입맛이야.
식당 가더라도 꼭 그런 데를 가요. 한 잔 곁들일 때 너무 맛있을 것 같은 한 잔 곁들일 때 너무 맛있을 것 같은
근데 보기보다 주량이 나쁘지 않잖아.
그쵸? 항상 우리가 좀 센 편 아니었어요?
너랑 내가?
술 언니 잘 드시잖아요.
너 잘 먹지 술.
우리들이 좀 센 편 아니에요? 잘 드시잖아요.
너 잘 먹지.
The small time is the minimum requirements to make progress, but just enough so that your brain doesn't overload. But if you're studying one language, you can pretty much multiply this by 10 and go on like an hour straight. But since I have so many languages, I have to split them all, knowing that my progress will be slower. So all I can do is increase my efficiency as much as possible to make up the gap or reduce the gap as much as possible so that they can be almost as efficient as if I were to study one language fully. Yeah, prioritization is based on what language do I need for the future, like closest traveling, the Korea and Japan, that's next year. So those two are the main focus. And then beyond that is other languages.
우리들이 좀 센 편 아니었나?
리정이는
먼저
술 안 먹으니까 채원이랑 네가 되게 잘 먹지.
맞아요.
안 먹으니까 채원이랑 네가 되게 잘 먹지.
맞아요.
근데 사실 채원이는 바빠서.
안 그래도 제가 여기 이거 촬영하기 3일 전, 이틀 전쯤에 채원이랑 만났어요. 한 잔 살짝 곁들이면서 얘기를 했는데 이 얘기 했어요. 나 이번에 헬스클럽 나간다. 근데 이제 채영이가 진짜 너무 하고 싶다고 자기 해밀리의 책과 계속 그때 생각밖에 안 난다 막 이런 얘기를 하는 거예요.
뭐야?
너 일부러 내가 하는 거예요.
뭐야?
너 일부러 내가 찍으러 간다고 하니까 너 일부러 그렇게 하는 것 같은데? 근데 진짜 절대 아니라 나가서 꼭 얘기해달라고 하는 거예요. 자기가 자기가 이렇게 얘기했다고 꼭 얘기해달라고 하는 거예요.
꼭 자기 빼놓고 할까봐.
Sorry, just need a minute real quick.
맞아. 꼭! 나 꼭 얘기했다.
편집. 자기 빼놓고 할까봐.
맞아. 꼭! 나 꼭 얘기했다.
편집.
나쁜 언니들.
나쁜 언니들.
근데 우리 이렇게 단둘이 마시고 이런 거 처음 아니에요?
처음이지.
신기하다.
우리 맨날 복작복작한 애들 가운데서
그러니까.
야! 근데 이걸 얼마나 넣어야 될까요?
그러니까.
야! 근데 이걸 얼마나 넣어야 될까요?
원하는 건.
아,
Hi, yes, I am. I am indeed, sir.
이거 처음 마셔봐요.
사실 이 위스키를 예나 씨가 오자마자 들어가더니 직접 골랐어요.
이거 모르셨어요. 아, 뭔가 꿈이라니까요, 이렇게.
꿈이라고? 예나 픽이야, 예나 픽 오늘.
너무 먹어보고 싶은 거예요.
근데 원래 좋아해?
너무 좋아요. 그러니까
위스키?
공항 가거나 할 때 이제 한 번씩 해외 나갔다 오면 하는 가거나 할 때 이제 한 번씩 해외 나갔다 오면 하는 하씩 사오는 그 기분이 있잖아요.
나 진짜 한 번도 사온 적 없어.
공항 갈 때 한 번 사온 적 없다고요? 면세점에서?
응.
그 기분이 있잖아요.
나 진짜 한 번도 사온 적 없어.
공항 갈 때 한 번 사온 적 없다고요? 면세점에서?
응.
그럼 언니 뭐 사요?
난 그냥 거기서
없다고요? 면세점에서?
응.
그럼 언니 뭐 사요?
난 그냥 거기서 밥 먹고 집에 와.
아, 그런 느낌이구나.
응. 근데 나는 약간 그 인당 2병씩 가능하잖아, 술이. 막 집에 와.
아, 그런 느낌이구나.
응. 근데 나는 약간 그 인당 2병씩 가능하잖아, 술이. 막 사람들은 그 살려고 막 되게 애쓰는데.
Let's see. How long they study? I probably would say 2 years of just fully listening, but recently I just started attending classes. Like today, actually I had class early in the morning because here it's Pacific time. But I just let's see, like let me see my charts to be exact. I guess I started a long time ago, but you were talking about like really listening, perhaps 2 years ago, 2024, September. It's about 2 years, but it's only about an hour a day. About so. Yeah, back then not too consistent, but nowadays it's like more consistent. I'll say 2 years of actively studying every day and just pushing my knowledge as much as possible of the language.
막 사람들은 그 살려고 막 되게 애쓰는데 그걸 굳이 왜 갈 때마다 사야 되지? 이런 생각이 드는 거야.
Yeah, a few months you could probably start listening to more beginner, medium content, but the native stuff, it's really hard. Well, I actually do have this. I increased the speed to 1.15 times faster just because I think I can handle it, and it lets me go through audio faster, so I can go into the next languages.
거야, 나.
오,
이런 생각이 드는 거야, 나.
오, 신기하다.
구입해본 적이 별로 없는 것 같아.
그렇게 좋아하는데 왜 안 갔었어요?
안 좋아해서.
안 좋아요, 언니? 그렇게 아니 언니 항상 회식하면 MC.
아, 그래, 맞아. 예나가 그걸 봤구나. 어제 그거 본 거지, 너
네, 그거
스토리.
봤어요.
For Korean, Ooh, good question. Nope, the approach is exactly the same. Heavy focus vocabulary in the beginning, and then I start listening as much as possible. The only difference is that your listening time for Korean probably has to be more than Chinese because of the grammar system. That's about it. Grammar system is completely different, backwards. Chinese is actually a lot easier for listening. So I would say for whatever Chinese work I did, I probably had to do just the same amount of time. The only advantage is the alphabet, but even alphabet it can deceive because there's too many forms of the same word. Because if you look up how many forms are there for a single word, it's like 400 different forms because their grammar rules are just insane. But just know that you need a lot of words. But similar approach, I would use Google Translate to help me create sentences or help me fix my sentences to make sure I'm saying more accurately. But all I can do is just listen, and pretty much when I talk to someone, they have to. I can understand them. That's main priority, or else you're gonna freeze and game over. So yeah.
이제 어제 드라마가 끝나가지고 드라마 쫑파티를 한 거였어. 200명 이런 많은 인원들이 모이잖아요. 그럼 럭커였어. 200명 이런 많은 인원들이 모이잖아요. 그럼 럭키드로 같은 걸 해요. 그때도 했잖아.
맞아
우리.
맞아. 마이크를 항상 이렇게 잡고 언니가 진행을 막 해. 그게 너무 신기했어.
그거를 내가 술 먹고 하는 줄 알았구나. 아예 잔도 안 먹고 하는 거야.
잠깐만요. 그때도 안 마셨어요 우리.
응.
우리
안 먹고 하는 거야.
잠깐만요. 그때도 안 마셨어요 우리.
응.
우리 거 때도?
그때 나 운전하고 갔지 않았냐 집에?
잠깐만. 너무 충격이네. 우리 거 때도?
그때 나 운전하고 갔지 않았냐 집에?
잠깐만. 너무 충격이네. 진짜요? 언니 그러면 어떻게 그런 텐션으로 이렇게?
내 눈앞에 관중들이 있으니까.
진짜요? 언니 그러면 어떻게 그런 텐션으로 이렇게?
내 눈앞에 관중들이 있으니까 이제 200명의 관중.
와 진짜 무대 체질이다 언니.
바로 안녕하세요. 아니 여러분 안녕하세요. 오늘 선물 받을 준비 되셨나요?
아 너무 잘해.
되셨나요?
아 진짜.
되신 분들 소리 질러! 그래
진짜.
되신 분들 소리 질러! 그래서 나는 진행을 해야 되니까 안 먹었지 술을.
진짜 모르고
안 먹었지 술을.
진짜 모르고 있었어요.
진짜로?
나 언니가 뭔가 그 약간 그 텐션.
Language React. We use Language Reactor. This is automatically installed. Highly recommended. We highlighted instant translation, and yep, Language Reactor is what you want. And then once you install it, this is automatically in the system. The only thing you can do, well, you can access all the text on the side as well if you really care about the exact way everything's pronounced. But I honestly don't need it. You can actually treat it like Lingq. You can click on it. If you have an account with them, you can click and save the words. Colors will be different. Free version for Language Reactor or Premium. I use the free. I honestly didn't even know there was a premium because you
있었어요.
I believe I don't even have this. I don't even have an account with them, ironically. If I can... Actually, there's no way to say it.
먹었지?
See, I'm not even signed in. So I'm using the free version. I don't even know what the premium does, and I don't recommend it because I never done it. And all you need is the functionality. You can highlight instant translation, like Lingq, but listening form, and that's pretty much it.
지하려고.
약간 그렇게
난 그래서 얘네가 왜 이렇게 나이가 술을 먹었다고 생각하지라고 생각했는데 그랬구나.
맞아요.
오해의 소지가 있는데
우와.
술 안 먹어도 저는 가능하답니다.
맞아요.
출장 MC, 출장 MC.
맨날 언니랑 회식할래요.
짠!
짠.
짠! 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
오! 맛있어. 안 세요, 별로.
너무 맛있다.
응.
아니 언니 우리 팀 꾸려서 같이 다닐래요?
연말 파티 때 같이 MC 모든 MC로
아니 언니 우리 팀 꾸려서 같이 다닐래요?
연말 파티 때
맛있다.
응.
아니 언니 우리 팀 꾸려서 같이 다닐래요?
연말 파티 때 같이 MC 모든 MC로
보도 MC로.
보여주면 안 돼요. 진짜 한번. 내 꿈은 진짜 언니야. 난 진짜 언니처럼 될 거예요.
Well, what else you can do is that you can click on anywhere in the center. You can press this play button or like the black box. It will repeat that same exact phrase from the beginning of this text.
진짜 언니처럼
So it's
진짜
very useful.
언니처럼 될 거예요.
얘가 진짜 귀엽죠? 근데 얘나는 야, 너 이제 나이 많더라?
되게 많아요.
너 이제 20대 후반이더라, 곧?
제가 그래서
이제 나이 많더라?
되게 많아요.
너 이제 20대 후반이더라, 곧?
제가 그래서 안 그래도 그것 때문에 계속 샵에서 많은 얘기를 했거든요, 선생님이랑. 안 그래도 그것 때문에 계속 샵에서 많은 얘기를 했거든요, 선생님이랑.
요새 하고 있는 얘기야?
그 예전 같지 않다라는 말을 내가 쓰게 되는 거예요.
하고 있는 얘기야?
그 예전 같지 않다라는 말을 내가 쓰게 되는 거예요. 야, 이거 예전 같지 않다?
뭐 할 때?
음악방송 같은 거 활동도 했을 때도 예전에는 막 더 바쁘고 잠도 못 자고 막 이래도 막 일단 그래도 버텼어요.
할만했어?
할만했어요. 자고는 막 더 바쁘고 잠도 못 자고 막 이래도 막 일단 그래도 버텼어요.
할만했어?
할만했어요. 자고 뚜껑 자고 일어나면 막 그래 해야지. 할만했어요. 자고 뚜껑 자고 일어나면 막 그래 해야지. 근데 요즘에는 막 기침이 막 나. 잠시만요. 일어나면 막 그래 해야지. 근데 요즘에는 막 기침이 막 나.
No problem, immersion. Just let you know, for any of my other posts, you put like a comment and a question, I'll create like a video response for anything. So if you have any questions about Korean, I give you what I know for knowledge, but I can only give you what the extent of my knowledge of the language. Premium is mostly for audio generating subs and having more word saving capabilities. Yeah, you either choose Lingq or Language Reactor. I think Language Reactor would be better, but they're two different things. Lingq, you increase your ability to read subtitles faster, but Language Reactor, you're pretty much allowed to learn while you're listening, but it's better to have the words beforehand and then listen, ideally.
잠시만요. 쉴 때 막 죽겠다.
어떡해. 벌써 그러면 어떡해.
잠시만요. 쉴 때 막 죽겠다.
어떡해. 벌써 그러면 어떡해.
좀 그렇지 않아요, 언니? 안 그랬어요, 언니?
약간 세월에 가서도
그렇지 않아요, 언니? 안 그랬어요, 언니?
약간 세월에 가서도 세지는 느낌.
왜? 강화. 약간 포켓몬들 강화되는 거 알아?
세지는 느낌.
왜? 강화. 약간 포켓몬들 강화되는 거 알아?
What is that? ASB player? I just see student crash in space, I think. Okay. Maybe it's... I never heard of it. That's pretty cool. Is it the same thing? Looks like the same exact thing. Could be better. I think the only difference is that the text is on the right side here. All blue, red, and yellow. So this helps you keep track of everything, right? Yeah. I think Language Reactor is the same. Just actually, no, they're about exactly the same thing. They just have to have nicer looking text. Yeah. I never heard of it. I can try it, but yeah, I never tried before.
진화.
진짜 좋다. 내 꿈은 헬이다, 진짜. 와.
왜냐면 해밀의 탭
좋다. 내 꿈은 헬이다, 진짜. 와.
왜냐면 해밀의 탭 할 때도 나만 낮잠 안 잔 거 알지?
맞아.
그래서 계속 자.
아니 진짜 너무 신기해. 언니는 체력이 저세상 체력인 게 언니는 체력이 저세상 체력인 게 이제 촬영하고 약간 쉬는 날, 쉬는 시간이 있어. 그 낮잠 타임이 있잖아요. 그 세팅 시간. 그때 진짜 잘하고 이렇게 편안한 시간인데 다들 이제 바로 뻗어 있으면 언니 혼자 막 깨 있어. 막 바빠. 막 혼자.
끔적끔적.
한 번도 눈을 안 붙이는 거예요. 그게 어떻게 너무 신기했어.
나는 지금 더 안 자는 것 같아. 그때보다.
어떻게 사람이 이렇게 강해?
그래서 맨날 피디님이 이제 계속 소통을 하잖아. 내가 몇 시든 깨 있으니까 자죠 맨날. 애들 말라서 그럴 수도 있어 애들이.
그런가? 언니도 말랐는데?
아니야. 너네는 진짜 말랐잖아. 나는 마른 척.
아니요.
너 나 안 마른 것도 봤잖아.
사람이 진짜 다양해. 진짜 다양한 사람이야. 사람이 진짜 다양해. 진짜 다양한 사람이야.
그래서 애들이 그때는 아니에요 이런 말도 안 해. 그래. 그냥 언니 귀여워요 이래. 그때는.
그때 언니가 빅토리 머리였잖아.
맞아.
빅토리 앞머리. 그게 진짜 귀여웠어.
빅토리 한창 찍을 때
맞아.
사용해가지고.
그게 너무 귀여워.
근데 진짜 약간 영화로 보니까 왜 그렇게 하는지 알겠지?
알고 같아.
약간 영화로 보니까 왜 그렇게 하는지 알겠지?
알고 같아. 뭔가 그거를 해서 더 와닿는 거 뭔지 알아요? 뭔가 그 앞머리도 막 와닿는 거 뭔지 알아요? 뭔가 그
10 minutes refer to I go for 10 minutes of real audio time. For example, if it's a 1 minute, it goes to 11 minutes. That's pretty much my objective of the day, because you want to have like a minimum requirement or a deadline for each day. At least hit this amount of time so that you're making consistent progress.
앞머리도 막 그렇게 살아가는 거 이렇게
고등학생 같았어?
한 10년 더 입어도 될 것 같아요.
고등학생 같았어?
한 10년 더 입어도 될 것 같아요.
10년 더 해먹어도?
더 입어도 될 것
아
같아요.
깜짝 먹어도?
더 입어도 될 것
아
같아요.
깜짝이야.
더 입어도 교복을.
아 아니야 근데 교복 이제 나는 그러니까 이게 나는 입어도 될 것 같다고 생각하지만 옆에 누군가 있으면
Yeah, if you see like this number up here, I always keep track because this is the time step I'm trying to hit. So 2 more minutes to go.
차이가 나더라.
옆에 진짜 찐 고등학생.
있으면 옆에 누군가 있으면 차이가 나더라.
옆에 진짜 찐 고등학생.
있으면
근데 세월이 어쩔 수가 없어요.
얘나야 근데 코가 되게 빨갛게 했다. 요새
근데 세월이 어쩔 수가 없어요.
얘나야 근데 코가 되게 빨갛게 했다. 요새 애들은 여기 빨갛게 하더라.
언니도 하면 되죠. 왜 요새 애들이랑. 그리고
요새 애들은 여기 빨갛게 하더라.
I think I probably should slow down. Or at least there.
언니도 하면 되죠. 왜 요새 애들이랑. 그리고
요새 애들은 여기 빨갛게 하더라.
언니도 하면 되죠. 왜 요새 애들이랑. 그리고 언니 진짜 귀여운 게 다 물어간다요. 너 그거 뭐야?
저거 저렇게 했네? 그 아이라인도 되게 뭉툭하게 그린다. 요즘에 다 그렇게 그리나 봐.
이거는 저 눈이 부어서 선생님이 안 되겠다 해가지고 특단의 조치로 막 이렇게.
왜 부었어? 어제 울었어?
아니 어제 짜파게티를 한 새벽 4시쯤에 먹어. 가지고.
나도 짜파게티 먹었는데.
진짜로? 찌찌뿡. 요즘은 또 이렇게.
아 이렇게야?
아니 그냥 제가. 짠.
뭐야? 얘 정신없어. 아 맞다. 아 얘가 정신없었지?
진짜 정신없어요. 근데 언니 저는
너
아까 언니가
어?
소개해줄 때 MZ인지 막 그렇게 했잖아요. 전 진짜 그거 아니다요. 진짜 몰라요.
너가 생각할 때 MZ는 그럼 뭐야? 누구야?
나띠? 어리고 뭔가 핫하고 약간 그런 모습이 좀 MZ인지 않을까? 저는 진짜 아니에요. 저는 이제 좀 시간이 좀 지났어요. 저는 OG.
오지는 뭐야?
올드 MZ.
아니 근데 그래가지고 그거 물어보더라고요. 동네 스타K였나?
응.
동네 스타K에서
똥나? 똥났다.
왜 이거 안 찍나 했다. 채연아. 동네 스타K에서 저 MZ 아니에요 했잖아. 그러면은 예나의 추구미는 뭐냐고 물어보더라고.
얘나의 추구미요? 그냥 사실 추구미 이런 것도 없어요. 그냥 저는 그냥 제가 좋아하는 거 사실 추구미 이런 것도 없어요. 그냥 저는 그냥 제가 좋아하는 거 하면서 사는 게 너무 좋아요.
그게 MZ 아니야? 아닌가? 약간 MZ들이 그러던데.
진짜 일할 때도 행복해야지 할 수 있잖아요. 저희가 무조건 행복이 우선순위라고 생각하는데 이번에 레몬님모도 진짜 행복했거든요.
내모네모 잘 됐잖아 또.
열심히 행복하게 하니까.
Between, I heard you say you wished Lingq also had this kind of hover dictionary. Have you heard of Yomitan? I saw another YouTuber use the extension for exactly that. What is shit? You're more knowledgeable than I am about this stuff. Yomitan? Is this like a Japanese thing? It sounds like a Japanese thing. Yeah, Japanese. I knew it. I have no idea how this thing works. Yobi-tan? This is what they use for Japanese. I believe we recommend not to worry too much about intelligence speaking in the early stages of learning Chinese. What about Korean? When is the best time to start speaking? To be honest with you, I just started learning how to speak Korean like now, so 2 years later, because when you're in class, it's gonna be so awkward that you can't say a single word. You just stare, pause like for a minute, talk, pause. So your best plan is just to increase your listening as much as physically possible, and then you feel comfortable enough, you should probably start learning how to say certain things. Default dimension. I haven't seen that name in months. Actually, to be fair, I haven't actually studied that much. It's made for Japanese yet, but it supports all sort of languages I use for Mandarin. Amen. If it works for you, that's cool. I never tried it. I guess I'm an old man. I'm getting older, and new technology always rises. All right, I reached my 11-minute mark. So all I can do now is I can finally get to the part you guys probably want, me doing the actual links. Probably won't be as exciting, but I have to do my daily links at least. Okay, I need to import more stuff. I need to go to my Chinese account and start importing. I tell you, this is the most tedious part: is hunting for new content.
你有冇試過真係炒得好？
I can always give those a try. Like new recommendations. Best time to start speaking. Yes, speech. Honestly, I recommend doing it a lot later, but during the meantime, I recommend just talking to yourself. I'm not sure if I can give you a good demonstration, but I always do it every time I use the bathroom. I tell myself I need to create like certain amount of sentences in my head. Let me see if I can give an example. I've never done on the computer. I use it on the phone because I think it's more effective. So for Korean, for example, if I want to like imagine stuff in my head, so my thought now is I will go to the grocery store. So I can say, okay, I know 저는, and then will go to, and then that's like you have to put it at the end, so it's reverse. 저는 시장에서 갈까요? So I will go to the grocery store. You pretty much have to guess what you're saying, and then you have to fill in the gaps. Like for example, if you know what 저는 for I, and then you know how to say go, then you pretty much have to find like the middle word for grocery store. 식료품 전에. So I'll just probably say something easier. I'll go to the market. You want to always simplify the word. 시장에 갈까요? Yeah, something like that. It's the same process. I do this about 10 words. Like if I'm literally just using the toilet, right? I'm just sitting there and I'm just standing. I just use one hand, just think about sentences in my head and fill in the gaps. And you have to fill in the gaps so many times because in reality, when you're trying to think, okay, 10 sentences a day, that's about 10 links, equivalent of speaking version. And God knows how many I did. So maybe 7,300, and then I probably forgot at least half of them. So maybe I have like about 3,650 words subconsciously around there. But in order to bring it out, I recommend you just have like a bunch of sessions. You keep making as much. You want to trigger each word. So if I want to, the next section I would say, the park is nice. Like 공원은 예쁘다, something like that. Then if you don't know what the park is pretty, and you don't know what 공원이, then you just pretty much learn the 공원이. But don't say it out loud. Just think it in your head because you have to train your mind to actually create the sentences in live time. And yeah, doing it in real class versus practicing is always going to be different. But when you're in class, you're actually forced to do what I'm doing like maybe 100 to 200 times because you have 60 minutes with a teacher. So during that time, you're going to be pretty much grabbing your Google Translate anyways, and you're going to start doing the same thing I'm doing. You're going to fill in the gaps. So you might as well do it as early as possible. But you want to have like a minimum requirements and just enough so that you don't burn out and want to give up on the language because the language is so complicated. So my Korean routine is just 10 minutes. Sorry, right now it's like 15 minutes of real-time audio. Then leftover time I listen for the rest of the 1 hour. So I pretty much don't sleep. Damn, that sucks. But then you want the audio. So you want to create links to create your efficiency to be faster and such. Are you learning both Cantonese and Mandarin? How's that going? Are languages not too similar? I learned Cantonese and Mandarin. They're so different. They might look the same, but they're different. I would say Cantonese is twice as hard in Mandarin. I still have a hard time talking to my girlfriend's parents, and they only speak Cantonese. So that's like the real challenge, is real survival that you need it now. But I don't take it seriously because I can speak enough that they understand me. I understand some of what they're saying until they start using slang, because Mandarin is so much easier. If you think Mandarin is hard, Cantonese is like the god level hard. It's like 1.5 times harder because they use slang. The words don't pronounce exactly how it looks. Oh man. Like for example, if you know the character, right, for thinking shang, okay, they have two different ways of saying. They have seung, and then they have nam. So two different ways of saying it, and it could be in any context. No, it's so many different ways. Like if you want to say 现在, you probably think it's enjoy, something like that. That's not how it's pronounced. It's pronounced like Iga. So it's completely a pain in the ass. Iga. Like for example, if I want to say, okay, 我现在去这个地方. Okay, you could probably in Cantonese it's kind of annoying because you have to say okay, all is I. That's one way of saying it, and then you can. This one is a whole different way of saying it. Iga means right now. Hui, that's to go. Eagle, 地方，所以有一个很legal 地方. So it's a little bit different, but going from Cantonese to Mandarin is a lot easier than Mandarin to Cantonese. The only advantage is you could probably read some of it until you start learning that there's a bunch of little particles and radicals to each single thing. It's a pain in the butt. Having in-laws as free emergent seems cool. It's cool until you don't understand them. Because when you first start talking to them, and the obstacle is they don't speak English, it's hard because the only way to even communicate with them is you have to know the language. Like they're not going to learn English for you. Like you have to know their language, and to do that, you need to pretty much improve your listening so well that you even have a chance. Wait 1 second. Yeah, pretty much what I mentioned is you always want to prioritize the language you need for the most for survival reasons. Anything beyond survival, you don't have to take it too seriously, and you might as well just do the best you can. All right, links. I'm going to. Okay. Yeah, it's actually easier to learn like the tones. It takes a while though. Japanese is going well. Japanese only not too long in. Let's see. My goal for Japanese is just to get to the speaking maybe the 2-year mark. But sadly, I have to go to Japan next year, so I have like 11 months. So we can do like another series if you want to hear like how I do for Mandarin. 10,000 hours of Mandarin. That could be the next video of 1,000 hours in Japanese. Technically 359 hours of listening. Not enough. It's so not enough. But I got to the point that I'm able to listen to more, I guess, normal, but what you call comprehensible input. I just found out like a new thing like yesterday. You probably think this is cool, but if you want to improve from beginner to like intermediate, I recommend you just go to the comprehensible input, and the ones that they speak so slow, just play back the speed to a 1.3, 1.35, and that's pretty much going to be your beginner content, all of a sudden on steroids to intermediate, and that's going to be like your push to get to intermediate, and then from there you're going to adapt to the speed, because speed is everything to adapt to the native speaker. I love the idea of X hours of Y. X hours of how many hours of languages? Oh, okay. Sure. Honestly, I could be doing that for Spanish because Spanish is actually one of my also known languages that I've been at the most like 1,000, almost 1,000 hours. And Mandarin, Spanish I did a lot of hours of speaking as well. Spanish is pretty much up there, not as much as Mandarin, but it's up there somewhere. Vietnamese, okay. I think there's no existing video on YouTube about Lingq and Vietnamese, so I could probably do it like 1,700 hours of listening, then 182 classes. What do you think about listening at 1.25, 1.5 speed? It's useful if your objective is just to get through one point to another as fast as possible. So I just found like 1 or 2 days ago, I do all my videos at 1.25 and 1.5 for like the certain languages like Mandarin. Okay, I'd rather just keep it at standard because they speak as fast already, native speaker level. But 1.25, 1.5 speed is good for intermediate to beginner to intermediate or intermediate to advanced, because you can always get the beginner level, speed that up, and that becomes intermediate right away. And that's a perfect transition because all vocabulary are easy and consistent. Difference is speed, which can even match the native speaker's speed. The only difference is they just talk to you like a baby. So that's a cool concept, the more I think about it. Pitch accent or something. To be honest, I don't know much about pitch accent. My goal, the beginning right now, is just to understand what the heck they're saying. When I'm speaking, if they understand me, I'm cool. For Mandarin, I don't even know if I'm speaking correctly. I'm just happy they understand me and they don't look at me weird. Because, to be honest, would you rather just speak perfectly, or would you rather just like they understand you, they look at you without having a weird face, and they continue talking to you? Like, what's the difference? Like, you might look cool for others, or you just do what the basic purpose of human nature is, just to talk and say, okay, I understand you, you understand me. Now also you feel like a normal person. Just now you have a new language. It's so cool in the beginning, the butterfly effect, but once you actually have it, you're just thinking, okay, cool. Now I can do most whatever I want. Listening, cool. Because technically in the end, all you're really gonna do with the language is just listen to content you want to listen to, and you're barely gonna speak to people. Like, what are the chances of you being a Japanese person unless you go to Japan, right? Everyone probably speaks English in Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. But if you go to the other regions, that's where you want to prepare for. Like, even if you dropped on that random farm village, wherever, where no one speaks English, that's where the real adrenaline kicks in, and you should be training for that. And that's where it feels really good. Have you ever any Chinese podcast you recommend? I feel like I'm running out of interest content at the C2 levels. Dang, brother. Just watch dramas. What do I listen to? I honestly go back to the easier content once in a while. Like, for example, you ever heard of Mandarin Corner? It's probably like your what we consider intermediate. If you think you're so good and you go back to Mandarin Corner, you can understand 97%. Let's learn the 3%, and then great. That means you're just at a really good level. Yeah. I don't listen to podcasts anymore. I only listen to, what do I listen to? See, Mandarin Corner, and then I guess dramas. Yeah, like, this is episode 19. You're gonna reach a point that C2 is technically what the PhD people speak. Honestly, I think in English by native language, I'm probably like C1. Because C1 is technically, okay, you understand everything I'm saying, I can do everything. C2 is like, do you speak like a scholar or some old guy that knows everything? That they speak so differently. So C1 is like the goal, but I recommend dramas, whatever you like, because when you reach C1, you just listen to anything you want. You don't care, and how often you talk to people, sure, for a short amount of time, and then you just speak to them during that time. But I listen to Chinese dramas when I'm bored. But right now, I'm listening to Mandarin Core, going back to like the intermediates. But the cool thing is that you go back there, you grab like the one or two words you don't know, and that pretty much you maybe 100% it, like a speed run in a video game. It's like the same feeling. But I pretty much reach a point I can listen to everything and such. Oh, that was fast. What? Oh, right. I haven't done this one yet. Yeah, I don't really know that one. I know you probably answered this before, but you had to start over again. Is there anything you would have done differently? Yeah, I actually have an updated version of that now. What I would do different is I would still shoot for the 10,000 words, but I would add like a little bit of listening each time. And for example, I would go straight when you first start completely. I would go into find Chinese comprehensible input, but the thing is, there's so many channels now. There's like breaking news that there's too many Chinese comprehensible input channels. You pretty much import all of the easiest content you can find. You can be more specific, HSK1. So we should be super grateful that we have all these things now, all these Chinese teachers that can't find jobs, so now they have to become YouTubers. So you're not they're everywhere. Yeah, don't roast me on that. It's true though, technically. Economy sucks. Yeah, I pretty much would use videos like these. Anything that has Chinese though.
今天的视频，我们
Then download language reactor, and then just this will be like 10-minute. Okay, if I say 10-90 rule or 20-80, so for example, you have 60 minutes and you do like 20%, right? You spend 12 minutes on just this activity of listening.
你和我
You're just going back
我们
for this, and then the rest of the 48, you just look for new words, such as what I'm doing here, technically. Shoot, I don't know which one I'm at now. Is anyone still in here? Oh, you guys are still in here. It's nice. It's actually a cool part. You can pretty much do all this with one hand, because if you have one of those like numbers next to your enter button, you can pretty much do it all with one hand. More convenient. No, because one, your brain will automatically categorize it. In the first few months, your brain's gonna be super confusing, but your brain's gonna eventually separate the language automatically. Your brain is very powerful. It's good at organizing stuff. Yeah, it's like pretty much telling the difference between. Actually, I was gonna say something really messed up, but your brain can do all the organization automatically. Yeah. The only thing you get annoying, like languages are way too similar. For example, like Spanish and Catalan. Yeah, those languages are identically the same. I never done Catalan, but the moment I listen to it, I understand like 85% right off the bat. So that language is pretty much free. But that doesn't feel honorable to learn that language and just say I know that language right away. Are you reading the whole passage, or do you actually hunt for words? No, I don't even read any of these. I just look at the yellow, and that's it. I don't read. Reading, your real, actual reading happens when you're listening. For example, you have the script. That is when you actually want to listen, read the whole entire sentence, understand it, and then comprehend it. That's where the real refresher happens. When you're on Lingq, I recommend just ignoring all the white, because you already going to see that in the video. So you might as well just focus on everything else. In other words, the bigger picture. Don't focus on the details. Focus on the bigger picture. Oh, that's good. That's a good phrase. Yeah, it's a good phrase to use. I've done it. I never. I started from the beginning. I never went back each time. I'm surprised they're doing the same exact thing the whole time. If you mark a blue word as yellow and you see it 20 seconds later again, you remember it from short-term memory, do you mark it as known? Yeah, you could. Because whatever your brain is pretty much doing is predicting patterns and future survival instincts. So for example, if I do this, will it protect me long term? Like if I put this bait down for an animal, will it protect me later? So the idea is that if you see it again and you predict the next time you see this same exact case, you might as well make it known. Like if you remember it, sure, because when you go through the YouTube video, subtitles, that is actually your real test, and those are the real words you will need in real time. Lingq, you're pretty much getting all the diverse words, but the video, you're only learning the words that actually matter. So think about it like that. Like Lingq is pretty much your maximum capacity, but we use YouTube, like a language reactor. That's going to be your real deck. Like I might know 100,000 Chinese words visually when I look at it. I might not know how to use it, but when you use a video, I might know like 30,000 probably. Because imagine hearing the text of the dynasty warriors through a giant knife through your spiritual head. See, like those are weird words. I learned them in Mandarin, but how do you gonna hear them in audio? Rarely, unless you're watching dynasty old dramas like what most people are into nowadays. That's like the only time. So think about Lingq is you're digging for gold, but when you're in YouTube, it's when you're actually polishing the minerals you have acquired. Actually, that's probably the best analogy I ever gave. Yeah, you dig for all the minerals, but when you're listening, you're actually cleaning up and polishing and preparing to sell the jewelry to the people, make profit. How do you deal with your bad day? Nobody missed you in your family. To be fair, I haven't really seen my family. Wow, good question. Actually, I'm so bad at this. For example, I made a YouTube video that I would study 20 languages, but then stress hit super hard, so I pretty much reduced it back to 10, and I'm like going back and forth. So to deal with it, first thing, take a nap. Nap is always the first thing. And then if you're still super stressed, probably if I would have done it the right way, I would probably go for a run and like run super hard until I'm super tired, release all the stress, right? Or do something, punch a boxing bag, or just release stress as much as possible. Drink some water, sleep enough, and then, or you can do what I did. I just reduced the number of languages, but that's different. You're just gonna have to do the minimum requirement at least, or at least tackle it somewhere later. Like for example, if you listening, reading, and writing all in one session, maybe just separate them into like 3 different sessions throughout the day so that you don't overstress and give up. Because technically, when you first start a language, your problem is how can I prevent me from giving up too fast? So that's gonna be everyone's first objective because they don't know it, but that's actually what they're trying to prevent is giving up. And nobody ever talks about how do you not give up so quickly when you first start to just reduce the amount of work and just go very slow because you do investing and such. The people that actually make the most money are usually the most patient one. So time is technically on your side in this case. Yeah, it's tough. Life is tough. Who motivates you? Oof, your goals. Your goals are the only thing that motivates you. If your goal is to conquer the world or make most money or travel the world and talk to random people, technically my goal is to travel around the world and use the languages I learned to talk to other people. You want to keep that image in your head no matter what. You can't let that image disappear. Because once the image gone, you're pretty much going to destroy everything you ever thought. So you might have some kind of thought in the back burner as a backup plan, or you always remember the good times that if I do this, this brings me real happiness, and that's more of a because the mind is the only thing you can control. Because like there's a guy, everyone knows this guy Andrew Tate. The only person you can control is your mind. If you lose your mind, then you're pretty much a slave to society. Blah blah blah. Tough talk. But you are your own master to your own mind. If you ever feel like you're going to give up, then go punch something, punch a bag, go to like a house that allows you to break stuff. Just hit anything or run. You just need because you're gonna be stressed as a guy because to be honest, when's it ever easy? Due to like pinging or some he explained the do part. Are you sure that's not his typo? Yeah, you can emphasize the do part. That'd be great. I actually don't know what that means in your case, like do. Is it something like do you like pinging or something? Or what do you do if you're very sad and underconfident? Oh, I can tell you a story. My mom stopped talking to me because I chose my girlfriend over my mom. So technically, I haven't seen my mom in 8 months from that. So to overcome that, okay, even though my girlfriend exists, it's not enough for me to overcome. So technically, the real deal is I just have to find a personal goal, and you want to just all out on it. Languages are my all outs. So all your stress you're gonna be put into like the gym, some kind of knowledge. You'll focus on knowledge, skills, right? In my case, is language. Yeah. First comment not sent apparently, but I was saying, crazy how quickly your blue words are known to you. I sometimes see the yellow words 10 times in a row. I still struggle. Okay, first 10 times in a row. You have to encounter the same word 30 different times in different contexts. For example, one day I see it in one article, the next day you see it. So that you have to do it 30 times. So it's more a repetition thing because I've done this like a million times. I'm pretty sure I see each word at least 100 times or more. And then, but Mandarin is super easy long term, but every other language is gonna be a pain in the butt. Like Russian, yeah, different forms. But once you learn one form, every other form is easier. I know you experienced that for sure. Its goal is enough, no back or emotional support. Yeah. Technically, the only emotional support is your goals. Like for example, Preply, if you do online teachers, they're technically your emotional support because I pretty much use them as therapists. I just explain to them different languages. Yeah, it's due to opinion often. Okay, I still don't know what that means due to. Like for example, due to this, I do this, right? But I don't understand what the due to opinion often. Like due to pinging, then like I don't know what that means. Therapy as output path. Yeah, technically that's what most. You ask any preppy teacher, everyone's pretty much trauma dumping on them. It's true. I have like 5 teachers. If you ever need like a teacher recommendation, I'll give you mine. I have so many. To be fair, I have way too many teachers. They're low-key therapists. Yeah, they're super useful to like. I have so many therapists. They're super great though. Love them. Especially my Mandarin teacher. I trauma dump her the whole time, but she laughs and thinks my story is interesting. Yeah, I have a lot of teachers depending on the time of day. I meant to say like I often fail to mark a word as no because I don't remember the pinyin yet. All right, then just ignore it. Go to the next word. To be fair, okay. You know the phrase that there's a bunch of fish in the sea. Great. Then focus on the other words, and then that word will come back to you later because you're gonna be so successful learning the other words, and they'll come back to you later. So focus on the other words because this freaking word will come back no matter what. You're gonna see it every single time. I guarantee it. At least once every day. So don't worry about forgetting because there's always gonna be a word you're gonna forget. I suppose. Okay, I need to read all this holy crud. You ever wonder why I'm studying so? Do you ever wonder why I'm studying so hard to learn a language? I probably won't even use it as much. I could be spending my time on something else more useful. To be fair, Chinese is king of the languages of the world at the moment. Chinese is super useful. To be fair, you could pretty much like an average Asian, they could do whatever. They could waste time in video games. Like tell yourself, okay, you should tell yourself, at least I'm not playing video games because when you're older, the only thing you get from video games is your finger reaction is faster. That's about your finger reactions faster. But language, it's always gonna be with you no matter what because it's useful. You can actually talk to other people, right? So that's useful. Games, the only thing you can bond with is with other guys that also play games. But eventually they'll have families and give up on video games. But the people that don't, they stay. And yeah, but you're not gonna be with them forever. So think about tell yourself this: at least I'm not playing video games. I'm learning something useful. So language is pretty useful. Personal reasons, right? You have access to more things. Uh, Also, word conjugation helps. Even though each character, you can kind of just guess the meaning if you encounter both words together. Yeah, each piece of good. That's why Mandarin is like the only language that has long-term potential because the blocks are reusable. Cantonese as well. They're about the same thing. Some language teachers are low-key therapists. Yeah, therapists help. I meant to say like I failed to mark words as no because I don't remember the pinyin yet. Oh, I already gave the answer. It. Ignore it. Next word, it'll come back later. Yeah. Have you ever faced sadness in your life? Spill some tea. Sadness. I lost my mom. As in, she won't talk to me anymore. She said I'm dead to her, and I'm Asian, so you know that's pretty bad. Yeah, and this weapons we choose like your lover, your wife overneath your mom. So she either supports you or completely against you. If she's against you, then something's wrong. Either you make the wrong choice or you really found a red flag in your own mom. But I believe what I chose and I just dealt with it. So now at least I have more private time. That's cool. Is English your mother language? What is the first language? English is my native tongue until 23 years old, and Mandarin was my first language I ever learned. The 10,000 hours, what I'm known for on Lingq. I guess it says phase of my life. The same thing, yeah. Pretty much no family support other than my dad. My dad's like in the middle of the war. He has no choice because he can't support both sides. He has to support his wife, right? Always support your wife, not your mom. But usually your parents will always choose your significant other over you, depending on certain cases. Morally, it makes sense. Like it's the typical: would you save your mom or your wife if she's falling off a bridge? See, that's that dilemma. You can't save both. It's like the Batman thing, Batman Superman. You can't save one. You just save. Yeah, because all superheroes they sacrifice their own family and friends to save the world, but all villains sacrifice the whole world for their family and friends. I can't give up gaming. Yeah, gaming is cool. See, at least you have language learning. Gaming is just to de-stress. I use language as de-stress, which is kind of useful, I guess. Are you aiming at getting a CIA or a best job? No. To be fair, the only thing I'm only doing this so that I can travel the world and just want to sit down at a coffee shop and talk to some random local and hear their story, and that's it. Or like I had like this thought yesterday, a shower thought. Like my real ultimate goal is I want to understand what is true peace, and to understand true peace, you need to lock all languages because each language is like a key to. Okay, there's a door and there's like 20 keyholes. Sorry. Like, imagine my goal. It's super weird. There's a door with 20 keyholes, and if I want to access the door, the door is the path to true peace of the world. You need to unlock all 20 languages to understand the combination of all wisdom together to actually enter this door, to know that this is the real meaning of life, spread the joy, and yep, only you have the power to enter do this. Steve Kaufman as well. He probably has this enlightenment effect after all the languages. Have you ever faced sadness in your life? Have you ever faced sadness in your life? Have you ever faced sadness in my life? All four elements. Yes. To be fair, who hasn't had sad? Who isn't sad? Guys always experience sadness. It's normal. It can get worse. All four elements. Yep, exactly. Good questions, guys. I should stream more often, shouldn't I? It's okay. If it's a bot account, it's a bot account. To be fair, yeah, probably bot account. I don't really think much about it. Sorry, I think I didn't hear your question too. My question is English your mother language? It was your first language. English is my mother language. Mandarin is my first language I learned. Okay. Oh, I reached the end of this. 82. Yep, it only gets better and you get extremely fast. So, if, for example, you learn like Mandarin, you pretty much you unlock all the secrets to every language technically, because you pretty much encounter every obstacle except Korean and Japanese word order and Arabic's word order. Other than that, you do learn languages faster. You learn Spanish as a first language. It does get easier, but the rate, for example, learning Mandarin or Korean as a as a first language is going to be different. So if you learn Spanish, you're gonna learn the Romance languages extremely fast, but your method for learning Mandarin or the Asian languages are going to be tiny bit faster, but tend to be not enough. So good question, actually. That's actually the most common question, yes. Yeah, to be fair, you learn one. Okay, actually, if I learn one language, also I'm attempting like 15 others, so it's kind of legit because you pretty much unlock all the secrets after learning a Asian language that are like FSA 5, FSI 5. Yeah. Once you learn anything from the FS5 language, you unlock all secrets, in my opinion. The question is just time from there on. Are there any language you wish you spent more time, less learning, study, than you realized it was too time consuming or just not that interesting? The more time spent Japanese, Korean, because those languages are FSI 5, and you pretty much have to spend about the same amount of time as Mandarin. But the only difference about those languages is that the grammar is backwards, but they require more known words. So my 100,000 of Mandarin is probably equivalent to 300,000 of Korean or maybe 200,000 of Japanese. Because Japanese, there's like videos about which language has the most words in the language. You're gonna see like Japanese like Korean like a million or something, and then Chinese like 300,000, 100,000. So 300,000. But most of them are just ancient words. What's your favorite thing to unlock? What is your favorite thing you unlocked by learning languages? Access to other people. To be fair, the moment you access a language, you can talk to literally anyone from that language on the planet that you couldn't before. Like you're only speaking English. They're like each language is a DLC of your life. The moment you unlock the DLC, your life gets more fun. Like you play Elden Rings, you buy the DLCs of Elden Rings. You either hate yourself or you love the game, but you pretty much have more fun the way you think about it, because now you have access to play more bosses, you get more weapons, armor, upgrades. Yeah, and then you can always go back to your past and do the same exact missions. Same thing here. DLC is the DLC term is actually how would you describe DLC? DLC is for gaming. If you're not a gamer, then it's probably I can Google it. Let's see. What is DLC? Oops. DLC is a downloadable content. It's just additional digital content or add-ons to an existing game. Yeah, like for example, you have one game, and then you pay extra money to have an extended story to that game. So languages, English, then you pretty much the moment you learn the language, you have added a DLC, which is Mandarin or Korean, and then now your entire life expectancy or how you expect life, your vision of life is bigger, wider. You're more open, like the typical things they say. You learn language, you're gonna be more open. You're more empathetic. See, you're pretty much unlock certain emotions you never had before. And the sad part is you're gonna be pretty much a drug addict the moment you learn one language. You either take one language to the max or you become polyglot. That's actually a good quote. There's actually Plato's gave a really good quote. He said, "Marry a good woman or become a philosopher." Plato's. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. It's all the same concept. If you learn one language, you'll be happy. Sorry. Actually, no, it's not the same exact thing. Positive and a negative. Technically, the negative is if you get one good language, you'll be happy with that one language. If it's not enough for you, then you'll become a polyglot. Something like that. Sure. Yeah, the analogy doesn't really match it exactly. You talk about DLC, then that makes sense. You talk about the Play-Dohs, that's different. That's what happens when you try to get married. That's why Play-Dohs is the best, because his marriage technically was the worst marriage he ever had. That's super ironic. Oh, I passed my 100 words a day limit. No. Okay. I just try to get an even number so I feel better. See, that's a nice number to look at. Give me 1 second. I know about the keyboard stuff, but I mean, how do you look at the word on the left and then meaning and stuff on the right? You're gonna be really fast at it. Because technically, this is why you need to reduce like the window small enough so that, okay, see, we have the mobile set up. Okay, I glitched out the Japanese story. Crap. When you do the same exact thing every single day, you're gonna get really fast at it. Okay, you don't want this setup because you click on it, it blocks everything, so that's one vision block. You want to extend it long enough so that the right side opens, and the moment you go from one word to another, then you're gonna go from this place to up here to down there. You repeat the cycle lots of time, you're gonna go really fast eventually. So you're just gonna get really fast at it. So you here, there, and there. But for Japanese, it's different. I already know how to read katakana and hiragana, so I can just go straight into this. Yeah, Japanese is actually easier for me than Cantonese right now for learning words. Sometimes I hate the words as they are katakana. Not used to it. Do you wish you had another language in your mother tongue than English because of how easy it is to learn them? I wish I was bilingual as a child, but I pretty much rejected my own identity as a Vietnamese guy. If I took Vietnamese seriously as a kid, I would have been bilingual. But technically, with a Vietnamese background, there's no foundation work out of that other than the tones that can be transferable, and then like the semi-context to the Asian languages like Mandarin, Japanese, and Cantonese. Because Vietnamese and those languages do have a similar similarity. Difference is that it's not 100% transferable. Maybe it's like a 20% transferable if you're lucky enough. Do you find Japanese or Korean more interesting? Also culture-wise? Nah, Chinese, to me, Chinese is culture-wise. I don't know why. I'm learning those I don't know why I'm learning. Okay, Japanese. I only learned the languages so that I imagine myself visiting those countries and talking to the people. I literally don't have interest in. Okay, the real culture shock is when you actually go to the country, because when you're at home, the only thing you know is your own culture. So basically, you're learning the language to prepare yourself to experience a culture that is brand new and that you're anticipating what could happen based on other news and people's experience. So I don't have much experience with Korean or Japanese other than Koreans have super good food in their races, and Japanese they're super quiet but they're very kind, and food is good too. So to be honest, I read so many posts that Korean is useless and stuff. I only learning it so that I have the potential that I can just talk to people in that language, because there's always gonna be one case that you will use that language eventually. But besides, it's how cool is it that you can just sit down one day, go to YouTube and say, you know what, I want to watch a Korean drama and understand it completely. Great. And it's just good to know that you there's a bunch of areas, a fog of war in your life that you can't access unless you learn the language. It's technically very useful. Or more just okay. I think Japanese is more interesting. I personally think Japanese is more interesting. Yeah, they're a lot more. I think the culture's nicer. They're more disciplined. Koreans are very smart. You can learn a lot from them. They both have their own thing. I personally think Japanese is more interesting to me. I don't really watch anime that much. I only were to watch. I only listen to like people talk to each other about news and stuff, because I guess I'm getting too old now. I'm getting to that stuff. Hello, La Nair. You might. I'll be right back, but I have to use the bathroom. What the? Hello. You're still there, Lanier. I'm here now, but what's the language you're spending the most time on right now? Probably Japanese, Korean. They're the ones that gain priority. For example, each language gets about 5 minutes of real listening, but Japanese and Korean gets 15 minutes so that I get real progress, because those languages are usually require 5 times amount of work to match Spanish, so they do require more balance to actually. I don't know, that makes sense. You want to learn Japanese? The splitting system is kind of stupid, but I'll take the few words. Oh, Papa Kim. Hello, you're back for more. Another question about Chinese. You talked about the keyboard. Could you elaborate, please? Okay, on this keyboard, there is the arrow key, and you have the K. So the arrow means that you're able to go back and forth between words. For example, if I do left and right arrow key, they go back and forth, right? You can see the difference. So you would pretty much, then you have K, which allows you, and the Lingq function of K is to convert it to known right away. And then you have the numbers 1 to 4. You can change the color 1 through 4, and you're pretty much repeating the process. So my finger position for each is I have my pinky on the right arrow key and my thumb on the K. So this is the K here. And then I pretty much just do this back and forth. Any numbers you don't have, I have the numbers next to my pinky, which is convenient. So I can just convert that to, I can go arrow or the number. So it's super mega fast, which allows me to do this. Well, sometimes if you have too many words, then Lingq will let you go to the next page with just the arrow key. You have to manually do it. Yeah, sometimes to manually do it. Actually, arrow key better. There you go. That's better. What is your Spanish? Basically, because I usually read on my phone, so according to you, I should do it on my computer. So, if you watch my long ass hour video, phone is for hyper focusing on words. Computer is meant for speed. So, once you reach a certain point, you're like in a good part of the language. I recommend the computer for speed, which allows you to learn words like at least 10 times faster. Phone is recommended for languages with different scripts: Mandarin, Arabic, Thai, Russian. At the beginning, once you get used to Russian or Korean, convert that to your keyboard. But phone is for different scripts, ideally. I never learn from my phone anymore. I only do everything from the keyboard because all the scripts are here. 100 yet? 82. No problem. Ask any question. Okay, I reached 100. I need an even number though. Even number looks a lot nicer. How would you rate your Japanese? I haven't started speaking, so I'll say it's pretty much like A1 or A0. Speaking, 0. Listening, probably B1, B2. I would say if you threw me in the real question is, if you throw me in the country, how long could I survive? I would survive 10 seconds. Maybe. I don't even know. But Japanese speaking, A0. Listening, B1 to be safe. Korean, for example, is my second best. Korean, A1. Listening, B1, B2. That's how I rate myself. Oops, too fast. Will you start to speak, you will technically reach B2 really fast, right? Yep, because your foundation all matters from your words and your listening. Because the more words you have, the faster the efficiency. The more you listen, the more the actual progress you make. So the real speaking thing is you speak the moment you have the words and the listening, and then it gets easier. So yeah, it's a lot easier. Like Mandarin, I started Mandarin from first class speaking right away just because I talk to myself every single day. But also, the language learned only one language. I hyper focus on that language only. So if you're focusing on one language, that's all you're going to be thinking about is that language and the way to say certain words. But if you're mixed like me, you're getting like so many different words. It's not consistent, therefore it cancels out on itself. So I had to do a different activity that allows me to compensate for all the distractions I have caused on my brain. Wow, Korean's a lot of words. Tu suis français, huh? Très intéressant. I want to rush Spanish. Like I already understand most of the context that I read or want to watch it. Well, I just learned Spanish. It's free. You're right next to Spain, right? Nah, grammar's so easy. No, for Mandarin, don't even think about the grammar. There's only one different grammar rule. Like for example, I go there, but for Mandarin you say I there go. The end. That's all you have to think about. Everything else you just plug it in like it's French. No, actually, French is different because you guys have the certain words in certain part. Yes, you guys have a lot of particles. Yeah, French. My French is still in progress. I started listening to like podcasts. I think you might know. You're from France, right? So I think you might know this channel that I might listen to. Let's see. What do I listen to? Quotidien. I think this is. I think you might know this. This is what I listen to. To listen to like different people talk to each other. Yeah, exactly. Exactement. Yeah, that's pretty much like the stuff I listen to. It's very great content. You guys have. I visited France, love it so much. I'm learning the language just so I can go back to France. And even though, yeah, I'm not sure how they'll treat an Asian guy speaking French. Sometimes depends how my accent is, but that's my goal is to only go back to France to speak French. But I know you guys have a thing against Quebec French, so I try not to go to Quebec too often. Wow, dude, the person is français. Okay, I'm also French. How hard do you think it's compared? French? Honestly, French should be like FSI 2 because the listening is kind of a pain in the butt. You guys ignore all the last sound of each word. Like that's the only thing that gets me. It's like the last part of the word. But I think the French language is beautiful, and I'm learning it every single day. Love it so much. I do want to visit you guys' country. If you guys live in Paris and stuff, and I visit again, it'd be great if we could just get a coffee or something. I love everything about France. I would visit again. But French is easy for for word acquisition. Listening, it is tiny bit trickier than Spanish. Okay, French is easier in terms of the vocabulary acquisition, but speed of French compared to Spanish, Spanish is fast as hell, but French is fast, but sometimes you just hear a bunch of skips certain words, right? Because I know like we say United States, I know you guys say États-Unis instead of like États-Unis, something like that. États-Unis, because I attended some French classes, but I took a break because my listening comprehension wasn't good. But I'm gonna come back eventually. So I live in Belgium and I'm French because most people won't know where it is. Belgium, Germany. Oh man, do you speak German? Is it true that everyone speaks English there? Because I just start adding German to the list, but I just keep telling myself back and forth they'll speak English to you no matter what, unless you're like a Dutch person, because Dutch always speak English to you. You have one tight air English. Like who are you to speak Dutch to me? That kind of attitude. That's just from the impressions I get. Oh, Belgium. Belgium. What language does Belgium speak? So I'm very bad geography. I'm American. Can't just use that as an excuse. Dutch, French, and German. Really? So, is your line of work French, or what language do you guys use in Belgium? I love Belgian chocolates. It's nice of you guys to visit my channel from Europe because it's like 9:45 p.m. right? I think you guys have like a 9-hour difference from the United States of America up the Pacific time. Belgium time. Yeah, 9-hour difference. Okay, I got lucky about that. Yeah, 9 hours. It's easy for Americans to understand. Awesome. So Immersion, you're the one that want to learn Korean. Is there a reason you want to learn Korean in particular? I'm guessing interest. I'm guessing you're like super multilingual because I assume all Europeans are multilingual, like crazy multilingual. I don't even compare to you guys. I live in French parts, so I speak French, but I'm learning Dutch. Okay. That's awesome. Do they actually talk to you back in Dutch, or do they switch to English sometimes? This depends, right? I'm just curious about it because I would like to learn Dutch, but I always hear the rumors that they do have the highest English scores on the planet, so they expect you either have perfect Dutch or they switch to English. I keep hearing that all the time. Gee, I don't know what kind of words I'm learning here. These words are so hard. Even like 90,000 words, there's so many words on each page. Like this language is really, really pain in the butt. Flemish, Dutch, Belgian, people speak more French than French Belgian. It's like Quebec that you guys use different words, or the language just sounds a little different, but generally it's the same, right? What do you think about Hello Talk, Tatum? I don't even use them. I have no opinion on them. Sorry. I'm sure you could speak Dutch. Sorry. So we only mostly speak in French. Speak Dutch. Sorry. I appreciate it though that you guys are here. How long you guys been using Lingq for? Because some of you guys are new to me in this chat, so I'm not sure you guys followed me for a while or you guys just happen to pass by. But I know you guys are talking about Lingq too, so you guys are definitely from Lingq somewhere. Nah, you can be unclear as you want. It's okay. You can always just repeat yourself. Don't worry about it. I won't take it in any way, in a negative way. To be fair, I do want to visit those countries too. So maybe if I visit, we can speak French one day. That'd be awesome. I think that is a goal for me. Just speak with any person, and that they don't use English back at me, and they don't give me a weird look. That's just like technically the ultimate goal. When you learn the language, it feels really good too. You have to excuse my geography and my cultural about Europe. I'm learning about European geography, but I have to excuse that I'm American, so I'm not the smartest guy you ever meet. Let's see. I have like session 3 later. So the session 1 was my main 10 languages, and then second was Indonesian to do. I have so much to do. Dang. I'm learning Korean because of K-pop. May I ask, are you female? If I can ask you that, I'm just asking. I'm not really too used to like guys being into K-pop. Okay, awesome. That's great. I'm just not used to hearing about guys into K-pop, and this chat is usually men. But glad you can visit. Yeah, but if there's any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, Korean is actually it's a pain in the butt. Just know that you're in for a long run, and you're gonna need to learn a lot of words. Like the words you saw I have, it's not enough. Like I need a lot more. Yeah, Lingq might claim that 65,000 is advanced 2, which is enough, but no way, it's not. It's not enough at all. No problem. That's a fair assumption. Okay, thank you. Are you like more of the? If you're like under 25, because I know that people like above 25, we all know about Twice. Okay, everyone knows Blackpink, Twice, EXO. What else is there? Oh God, who's the one? Jackson Scott 7. Yeah, that's my era. 22. Okay, so you definitely have ITZY, and then I don't know if you know about the K-pop group that used to disband back in the day. Let's see. K-pop group that had 13 members. Ice One? No, that's 17. Oops, sorry, 17 girls. Okay, not 13. 11? Is it Ice One? IOI, yeah. You might recognize some of the members from IOI, but IOI is like older, but they all split into newer groups. Ice One or something, exactly. Yeah, you got it. I think Ice One is like one of the groups after they disbanded. Because we have Somi, then we have I don't know anyone. I forgot. I used to listen to IOI until they disbanded a few months later. But not really in the K-pop phase anymore. Like I grew out of it. So getting a little old. That's me, but you learn Korean for K-pop, that's great. Just make sure you have it's a good motivation, but long term, just remind yourself that you better take it all the way, or else you're gonna waste all your time. You get that language, you either visit a country and enjoy it, or you eventually just shift to something else you like better. When I first started, I like K-pop too because of Chewie from Twice, but then that didn't last me that long. But yeah, just my recommendation as a Korean learner, just make sure you have a really good reason to learn it. That's about it. I started because of it. Yeah, okay, yeah. Because you say you're a few months in, so that's good. That's good. A few months in, not too far in. So how long you been using Lingq for, if I might ask? If you guys are okay with it, you guys can drop me your Lingq account so I can just visit if that's fine. Because I kind of like watching other people's progress as well. It gives me reason. I'm really big on this comparing myself to others so that there's always a reason to chase after them. Rivalries are very useful. Mandarin. Oh, okay. So are you just passing by this channel, or how did you know about this channel? Is if you haven't used Lingq? Very interesting. I actually never had anyone that isn't from Lingq so far. Or was it the 10,000 hours video that attracted you that wasn't from Lingq? Yeah, I guess some people can come from somewhere else. Matt from Japan talked. Wait, Matt from Japan. Who's that? Actually, don't quote me on it. I might follow him. I know Matt versus Japan, but Matt. Oh, Mike learns Japanese. Is it Mike? Matt from Japan. Oh, Mike learns Japanese. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, this guy is very big on Japanese on Lingq. I was surprised he talked about me because he mentioned in one of his videos that he's down to do like a video with together.
Just, happen to enjoy.
To be fair, I was pretty shocked to see my own face on here on my own channel. So I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Unexpected though, but I appreciate that you came visit. I'm pretty sure I can give you as much value as possible. If you watch my 3-hour video, if you haven't, you can give it a look. I just not out of bait like clickbait and all, but it's actual interesting information. I still listen to my own videos once in a while. Like I listen to my 3-hour video at least 10 times because even I found something new from it. Yeah, because the whole 3 hours is straight up just information. It's not stalling or anything. It's legit information. But Mandarin, yeah, Mandarin, I recommend my video because other videos, sure. I watched the first 2 hours. Okay, you pretty much got the most out of it. The last 1 hour is actually I don't know what the last 1 hour is about. Okay, appreciate it though. I'm guessing is it useful because you made it 2 hours. That's a whole movie right there. That's pretty interesting. Did you learn Japanese before? Is that why you follow Mike Learns Japanese? Because he is an old Japanese channel. Unconventional. Okay. I actually don't know what that means. I'm actually not that smart. Anything that breaks away from traditional okay. Okay, you're right. It is out of the ordinary. Yeah, like don't follow the tone, don't learn the tones and do this and that. Yeah, it's a lot. My thing about it is pretty rare. I don't think anyone else does whatever I do. I think it works. I can always record a video of me attending a class. I have a class tonight, so if you guys are interested, I can live stream it, but I need my teacher's permission. It's super early though, so it's like 4 a.m. for Europe, so that's not a good time for you to watch, but you might get the idea. It's an option. Mandarin. Let's see. Thursday, Mandarin. That is my teacher, actually. Yeah. If you ever use Preply, recommended. Unless you're new to the language learning world. Like, did you learn languages when you're young, or you learn languages as an adult? Because 2 different stages, 2 different methods, so different. Mandarin, my opinion, I think I'm decent. I can have conversations, no problem. In my opinion, yeah. If you were to throw me in China, I could survive like a month or a few months. I don't know, to be honest. Taiwan, I actually went to Taiwan a month ago, and it was actually pretty easy to get around, asking directions, talking to people. I made friends. So Taiwanese people are really nice. They don't know English as well as I thought, so I had to literally use Chinese for everything, but only the hotel. I use like a little bit of English just because I don't know certain words from about hotels and check-ins. I never prepare for it. Yeah, my main focus is all conversation, so not about real life stuff. The more I think about it. Started with Dutch at 10, English at 12, Spanish at 15, and Chinese at 18. So you're Chinese for 4 years. Are you still you're doing it every day for 4 years, or is it off and on? Because I was off and on as well. Oh, it's okay. I did too. I can actually show you what my break looks like as well for Mandarin. Let's see. My definition of break is, let's see. I think the amount of words I learned. That's a good way to. Yeah, so I started 2018, and then I pretty much did very slow. I pretty much stopped a bunch of times in between months, and then all of a sudden I just jumped like crazy 2021, and then it went even crazier. Oh, really? University? Okay. Let me guess. Traditional Chinese, because that's all they teach in school is traditional Chinese. The script, I mean, but the language is still the same. It's a lot. It's okay. I feel you. Simplified. Yeah, simplified is better. Your progress is faster by simplified. Oh, no simplified. Poor soul. Traditional will slow you down by a lot. Just letting you know, it does slow you down by maybe like 10%, 20%. Especially if you're learning how to write. Don't even get me started. You probably heard my video that I don't write. I don't claim I don't write. Ooh. Okay. German is kind of interesting language. Well, you ever decide to try Lingq? I can only tell you my good thoughts about it because you're watching me do it. You're probably looking and think, what the hell is this guy doing? So just know that this is technically how an advanced person would use this, I suppose, if they know how to use it to the max. So just imagine a guy using a dictionary compared to what I'm doing right now. Yeah, good luck to that guy. I mean, no, we learned simplified university. Sorry. Okay, so that's good. I mean, you're learning the language a lot easier. That's good. I just hope that the writing doesn't take too much of your time because you can use that time to learn words or listen. Yeah, to speed up your progress by a lot. Oh, not that word. Nope. No. Exactly. Yeah. It's actually it slows you down if you learn how to write. My personal opinion, if your goal is just to talk to people, listen and watch dramas, sure. don't even bother with writing. That thing will slow your time so much. You can do it because of calligraphy and because it looks pretty for like the first month, but after that, you can be frustrated that you can't understand anything, and that's pretty much ready to give up again and drop the class. But I'm just over exaggerating because that's how I would describe what I would do. Because I'm not a good student. I didn't do well in high school. I the only thing that triggered me my language learning is when my teacher almost failed me in Spanish, and then from there I just told myself I need to redeem myself, and took it way too far. If you need the class, you have no choice. Like language, I think a language credential class is needed, right, for everywhere in the world. But you guys have like cheaper education, way better healthcare. Everything is a lot better than what we have here. But you guys have more opportunities for education, which is awesome. Okay, I probably need to take a break. Time to start. A quick meal for Marie. Quick. I can just study a little more. I've been out for 2 hours. Wow. Just a reminder, you're learning traditional? No, I only have simplified. Traditional slows you down. I say the traditional, I don't touch it here. I have no numbers here. It means I haven't learned it. I only learned the simplified Chinese. I recommend simplified because majority of people use simplified. If you use internet like Douyin, like their TikTok version, everything's simplified. Unless you go to Hong Kong or Taiwan, that you'll use traditional. But when you learn simplified, you learn enough words so that you can understand the traditional anyway. So, of course, traditional to simplify is easier, but simplified to traditional is a little bit harder. But simplify is what I recommend. They actually do, but certain parts of China that speak Cantonese, like Shenzhen, they start using simplified for reading now. So newspapers, traditional. So if you ever plan to learn Cantonese, you're gonna learn traditional anyways. But all the YouTube channels, they use simplified characters for Cantonese mostly. They do a mixture. I don't know why it's like that. But that just happens to be what it is. I only learned to simplify. When I went to Taiwan, I couldn't understand the ingredients in traditional Chinese, but Mandarin, in terms of simplified, I have no problem. It's just like ingredients. So when you learn simplified, the only thing you won't understand in the traditional is ingredients of food and ingredients of medicine. Like that's about it. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Okay, might as well just start more listening for fun.
Bun venit, dragi ascultători, la un nou episod din Talk Tonic. Sunt
Really? I'm here? I think I'm there.
Adică?
În sensul că... interesant.
Adică?
În sensul că o călătorie te poate învăța despre alte culturi, te face mai deschis la minte. Sau plata despre alte culturi te face mai deschis la minte. Sau plata pentru un curs nou, fie că e de gătit, programare sau o limbă străină, este o investiție, fie că e de gătit, programare sau o limbă străină, este o investiție directă în tine.
absolut de acord. Nu e doar o cheltuială, e o investiție în propriile abilități și în propria fericire. Asta mi-aduce aminte de e o investiție în propriile abilități și în propria fericire. Asta mi-aduce aminte de al treilea argument, sănătatea mentală. Mi-aduce aminte de al treilea argument, sănătatea mentală. Mi-aduce aminte de al treilea argument, sănătatea mentală.
Interesant.
Adică, uneori, simplul act de a-ți cumpăra ceva ce-ți dorești sau de
Interesant.
Adică, uneori, simplul act de a-ți cumpăra ceva ce-ți dorești sau de a ieși în oraș cu prietenii poate reduce semnificativ de a ieși
Or are you learning languages just for the sake of it, or do you have reasons for learning the ones you're learning? Because it's a lot. Honestly, because when you learn one language, you either become in love with that language, or you become an addict, like a drug addict. It's like, because once you experience one, you want more, or you just experience one and you're satisfied with it. So I just have this an endless addiction of I learned Mandarin as best as I can, and I'm satisfied because I have so much dopamine hits from talking to all the people. I want more because what happens if you can talk to the whole planet, right? Like, okay, you have access to like 1.3 billion in China. What happens if you can access like the I don't know the rural areas of Germany, France, right? Because they can't speak English, so that's more satisfying. And Romania, I heard like their English is pretty good too, but 50% speak it. Oh, sorry, 30% speak English. So the other 70%, it's more meaningful. You can talk to them, and yeah, Romania. Visit Romania. Romania is a beautiful country. You guys have they have beautiful landscapes. Romania landscapes. And besides, easy. So technically, it's like a free language. Yeah. Like I just imagine myself one day I'm just going to stand in these fields and talk to some random guy that can't speak English, and then I'm just going to have maybe a cup of coffee or some kind of traveling. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is beautiful. Exactly. To be fair, you all live. Everyone in Europe has some kind of beautiful scenery. I'm sure Belgium has something beautiful as well. I had never been to Belgium. I never heard of Belgium, other than Belgian chocolates. Okay, it's just as beautiful. I'm not sure how much is this photo shoot, but dang, you guys have everything technically. All nature. Yeah, here there's no plants. It's just all roads and houses. Europe is all green and well, that's Switzerland, but that's a different case.
ieși în oraș cu prietenii poate reduce de a ieși în oraș.
Depending on the state, that's true. Just don't go to California unless you like beaches. No, linking only is when meaningful link. When you learn a language with a different script, Arabic, Thai, Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, Korean, you gotta do that in the beginning stages, but once you reach like semi-beginner to intermediate, then you can use computer because you already learned the alphabet, and then now your focusing is on speed because the phone is there to help you understand the script better. But once you understand the scripts, then you go straight to the computer for speed because speed is everything. Speed is important in business. Speed is important for language learning. California, so I live near Los Angeles. The only thing we have is the beaches, Santa Monica Pier. Actually, I don't know what else we're known for. In-N-Out burgers. I'm not sure you're into In-N-Out burgers in general.
De a ieși în oraș cu prietenii poate reduce semnificativ stresul. Este o formă de autoîngrijire. Această satisfacție imediată ne ajută formă de autoîngrijire. Această satisfacție.
I'm not sure you guys are interested if I keep like streaming every day about my language progress. If you guys are interested, I can do it every day, but I didn't expect people to actually come here and talk with me.
Imediată
nice.
ne ajută să ne formă de autoîngrijire. Această satisfacție imediată ne ajută să ne reîncărcăm bateriile și să fim mai productivi.
Da.
Reîncărcăm bateriile și să fim mai productivi.
Da, este adevărat. O mică bucurie acum poate avea un Da, este adevărat. O mică bucurie acum poate avea un efect pozitiv asupra stării de murdă. Dar trebuie să...
Okay, yeah. You can I have any posts on actually I can show you this. I have in my channel, if you go to posts, I actually have an area that says this. If you have any questions or discuss, ask them in the video and I'll respond with a video or live stream. However you want, I can respond to you. If you have a specific question, you want me to go in video formats, or you can always wait until I'm live streaming, and then you can always ask me the question there. And either way it works.
Stării de murdă. Dar trebuie să fim atenți.
Yeah, because I'm actually studying every day. Because if I don't do it every day, I forget, right? So I might as well do it if people are very curious about asking questions.
Stării de murdă. Dar trebuie să fim atenți să nu devină un obicei nesănătos, un fel de terapie prin cumpărături exagerată.
Desigur, moderația este cheia, dar nu trebuie să neglijăm sigur, moderația este cheia, dar nu trebuie să neglijăm importanța stării de bine.
I haven't finished watching all your videos. I waited for leaving my question under your post. It's up to you. I appreciate it. You don't have to watch all the videos, but I recommend the 3-hour video at least. It's so long, but I pour my heart and soul into everything because that's everything all blood, sweat, and tears thrown into that video. So at least that video, everything else, it's extra personally, but I appreciate it.
Bine în prezent.
Un alt argument, poate mai puțin personal, dar la fel de important, este impactul economic. Când cheltuim bani, susținem economia.
Așa este. Nu m-am gândit la asta din perspectiva.
Susținem economia.
Așa este. Nu m-am gândit la asta din perspectiva asta.
Da.
That's fine. Because usually questions about your personal struggles. So if you have personal struggle about language learning, then you ask because you're not going to learn every single thing I know just because it's my personal knowledge and then you're trying to get it all at once. No need. If you personally have a personal struggle in your own language from your own knowledge, so ask away and I will answer it. No problem. Other people ask questions that's already in my video, but they ask anyways, which is
Susținem
fine.
economia.
Așa este. Nu m-am
Very
gândit la
respectful,
asta din
though. Thank you very
perspectiva asta.
much.
Da, fiecare leu pe care îl cheltui la un restaurant local, într-un magazin sau pe un serviciu, ajută la plata salariilor, la menținerea afacerilor deschise, deci, într-un fel, a cheltui este un act de participare la comunitate.
Este un punct de vedere foarte valid. Ce aș adăuga un ultim argument pentru partea aceasta a discuției. A cheltui bani pe calitatea vieții de zi. Cu zi. Adică să investești într-o saltea bună pentru un somn odihnitor, să mănânci mâncare sănătoasă și de calitate, să locuiești într-un spațiu care ți aduce liniște. Acestea nu sunt luxuri, sunt necesități care ne îmbunătățesc viața în prezent și ne fac mai capabili să funcționăm bine pe termen lung.
Corect.
At least 2 hours. So each language gets about 5 to 10 minutes dedicated each. So at least 2 hours. Beyond that is extra or I learning vocabulary, but the 2 hours is mostly focused on listening because the listening is true progress, but words are they're not real progress. They're just ways to increase your efficiency. So when you listen, that's real progress, but words are a way to increase it, like times 1, times 2, times 3, times faster. See, that's what words are for. The more words you know, the faster you learn, the higher the potential. So 2 hours a day of listening to make physical movement progress. And then outside of that is the vocabulary that just allows me to go faster.
Funcționăm bine pe termen lung.
Corect. O investiție în tine de azi pentru a-l ajuta pe tine de mâine. Bun. Cred că am acoperit destul de bine de ce este important și benefic să ne bucurăm de banii noștri. Absolut. Iar asta mă duce cu gândul la un alt aspect important. Flexibilitatea. Atunci când ai economii, ai mai multă libertate de a face alegeri în viață. Poate vrei să-ți iei un an sabatic pentru a călători, să te întorci la școală pentru a urma o pasiune sau să-ți schimbi cariera. Economiile îți oferă un tampon de siguranță care face aceste tranziții mult mai puțin stresante.
Acum hai să trecem de cealaltă parte a baricadei. Daniel, știu că tu ești un adept al planificării. Care este primul dept al planificării? Care este primul tău argument pentru a economisi și a investi?
Fără îndoială, siguranța financiară.
Îndoială.
Investi.
Fără îndoială, siguranța financiară. Viața, așa cum ai spus și tu, este imprevizibilă. Și asta înseamnă că viața, așa cum ai spus și tu, este imprevizibilă. Și asta înseamnă că pot apărea și evenimente neplăcute.
Da,
Apărea și evenimente neplăcute.
da, din păcate.
O problemă medicală,
Ever wondered how polyglots manage to juggle so many languages in their daily life?
Okay, so the accent's different. No problem. I understand. You know, the accents can be different. Some words might be different. Yeah, as long as it's not Quebec, right? Because I know Europeans, French doesn't really appreciate Quebec. That's like a stereotype. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I can see why everyone says don't learn Quebec French, learn French France, which makes France French. Well, either way. Okay, yeah, that makes sense too.
Pete, sate kan, ya tulisnya dengan apa yang diucapkan oleh orangnya pete, sate kan, ya tulisnya dengan apa yang diucapkan oleh orang yang menjadi karakter tersebut.
Oke, karena itu
jadi karakter tersebut.
Oke, karena itu kontekstual terhadap karakternya.
Betul. Jadi karakter tersebut.
Oke, karena itu kontekstual terhadap karakternya.
Betul.
Sedangkan kalau narasinya, terutama kalau orang ketiga, ya. Sedangkan kalau narasinya, terutama kalau orang ketiga, ya harus itulah ya.
Seharusnya.
Seharusnya ya.
Nah, seharusnya ya.
Nah,
terutama kenapa? Terutama karena pembaca kita kan seluruh Seharusnya ya. Nah, terutama kenapa? Terutama karena pembaca kita kan seluruh Indonesia.
Oke.
Dialek tadi yang gaya dari peta Indonesia.
Oke.
Dialek tadi yang gaya dari petai jadi pete, itu tuh hanya masyarakat.
No one is using Lingq to build vocab like I do. Except maybe Steve himself. To be fair, I don't really mean stack. Okay, I have never shown a video of myself using Lingq correctly. This is like the only time everyone has ever seen me use Lingq on a normal basis. Like this is what I do every day. When I first started Lingq, the first 2 years, I was so slow. I didn't even know about these thing keyboard functions. I had to use my phone for the first 2 years, and I did like so raw. It was such a pain in the butt. And then I realized, oh, the keyboards have their own functions. I thought, because back then their web was very slow. Like it takes like a second, 2 seconds to go from one word to another. But now they fixed it so that it goes rapid speed. You can go from one word to another. And it's extremely fast. My opinion is way better than Anki. Because Anki, you have to do the work yourself when Lingq is already done for you. That's one thing. It's already planned. It's already all done for you.
Masyarakat Jawa aja.
Why do more work when it's already been done for you?
Masyarakat Jawa aja. Kalau pergi ke Sumatera, orang Melayu itu rata-rata akan mengucapkan diftong.
Oke.
Jadi beda akan mengucapkan diftong.
Oke.
Jadi bedanya orang Jawa sama orang Melayu adalah orang Melayu itu tidak masalah dengan diftong. Orang Melayu itu tidak masalah dengan diftong. Ai. Orang Melayu itu tidak masalah dengan diftong. Ai, au.
Tunggu tuh, ini diftalk itu yang itu ya kayak
yang
curhat.
Diftong. Ai, au.
Tunggu tuh, ini diftalk itu yang itu ya kayak
yang
curhat,
ai,
curhat apa udah itu yang itu ya kayak yang curhat,
ai,
curhat apa udah. Bukan itu diftalk. Makasih. Thank you, makasih. Apa nih diftalknya apa nih?
Dua vokal yang
apa nih diftalknya apa nih?
Dua vokal yang diucapkan barengan. Ai, au, pantai.
Itu namanya
diftong.
Diftalk.
Diftong.
Diftong. Oke.
Ai kan pantai.
Oke.
Apa?
Namanya
diftong.
Diftalk.
Diftong.
Oke.
Ai kan pantai.
Oke.
Apa? Cabai. Nah itu orang Melayu biasa, makanya bye. Nah itu orang Melayu biasa, makanya yang baku akhirnya ngikutin bye. Nah itu orang Melayu biasa, makanya yang baku akhirnya ngikutin bahasa Melayu karena kita kan asalnya dari.
Yeah, Lingq is a lot faster. People have preferences. Anki, sure. That's actually how Memphis Japan master Japanese to like the far extinct of the language that Japanese can be. Back then, Anki is king back then. Lingq was very bad back then. It was slow. The only way to do it faster is the phone was actually faster back then, and then recently now they made the computer faster. So thank God for that. So Anki is, you're doing all the work yourself. Is it really worth it?
Dari Melayu.
Oke.
Orang begitu nyampe ke Jawa, sama Melayu karena kita kan asalnya dari Melayu.
Oke.
Orang begitu nyampe ke Jawa, orang Jawa nggak seneng. Orang Jawa pakainya pulo, kalo, kan. Orang Jawa nggak seneng. Orang Jawa pakainya pulo, kalo, kan. Itu bedanya.
Artinya pengembangan ragam bahasa. Artinya pengembangan ragam bahasa itu untuk menentukan. Artinya pengembangan ragam bahasa itu untuk menentukan siapa yang menang untuk dibakukan tuh gimana tuh caranya tuh?
Sebenarnya kan kalau
untuk dibakukan tuh gimana tuh caranya tuh?
Sebenarnya kan kalau di kita kebetulan punya lembaga bahasa. Beberapa kebetulan punya lembaga bahasa. Kebetulan punya lembaga bahasa. Beberapa bahasa di dunia itu punya lembaga bahasa. Prancis punya itu bahasa. Beberapa bahasa di dunia itu punya lembaga bahasa. Prancis punya itu karena mereka kan daerah Prancis punya itu karena mereka kan daerah Prancis tuh luas banget kan.
Oke.
Spanyol juga punya karena Spanyol itu bukan hanya dituturkan di Spanyol, di Amerika Selatan juga banyak banget kan yang menggunakan bahasa Spanyol.
Ya.
Arab di Amerika Selatan juga banyak banget kan yang menggunakan bahasa Spanyol.
Ya.
Arab juga punya. Jadi mereka itu buat pembakuan. Nah juga punya. Jadi mereka itu buat pembakuan. Nah Indonesia ikut-ikutan. Jadi waktu kita merdeka, kita ngelihat konsep itu, terus kita lihat kan. Jadi waktu kita merdeka, kita ngelihat konsep itu, terus kita lihat kan bahasa Indonesia ini kan sebenarnya umurnya baru. Bahasa Indonesia ini kan sebenarnya umurnya baru. Sebelum ada bangsa Indonesia nggak ada bahasa. Bahasa Indonesia ini kan sebenarnya umurnya baru. Sebelum ada bangsa Indonesia nggak ada bahasa Indonesia nggak ada. Yang ada bahasa Melayu. Suku Indonesia tuh nggak ada kan.
Do you rely on the target language subtitles, or do you believe we should avoid that? For example, if you have the text of the target language and the English, I rely on the target language subtitles in the beginning because every word is unknown. But I chose like the straight up hard topic right off the bat. But when you first start, I recommend you pretty much don't look at it. You can aim at this guy's like forehead. That keeps you away from the subtitles, and that pretty much focuses on acquisition and the listening more than the words. From here, I'm doing something different. I'm just pretty much going back and forth. Like I'm like looking above here and then back and forth, so that I give like this 50-50 effect. It's sort of working, but this is how I did for Mandarin. So I'm just doing the same thing I did. Because when you look at the word and you hear it before, or you look at it before you actually hear it, that gives your brain the spoiler, just like when you spoil movies for someone else. It doesn't really do much. It helps, but not as much. So I recommend you just look away from it and go back and forth, and your ears will catch words you don't understand, then you just pretty much fill the void. Nowadays, all active listening is on Language Reactor. Do you ever use Lingq for? No. When I first started using Lingq, I used it for active listening, and back then they didn't have sentence mode. They only give you a play button and you had to find the sentence yourself. But Language Reactor was new to me. It came out a year ago, so I pretty much had to do it the hard way. Back then, the first year I used Lingq and its raw version. The second year I used YouTube, but I had to rely on the Chinese subtitle provider for me. And I had to pretty much go back and forth. I had to go back 5 seconds, look 5 seconds back and forth. But now they have like sentence mode in Language Reactor that you can hover on the black box and it'll pause the moment it reaches the end of the sentence. And you click on to repeat and you can hover instant translation. This speeds up like by 4 times at least. It's so much faster. when I'm immersing in Mandarin, I rely a lot on the characters. I know more characters visually, even when I'm not reading them. Technically, if you look at it and you understand, when you're listening, your objective is to look at the character and know the translation to your language. You don't think about the pinging. Pinging only matters when you have to start speaking, or you have to say the word out loud when you're reading. Like someone asks you, "Can you read the sentence?" You read the sentence. So pinging is only needed when you have to speak or when you have to read it to someone else. Otherwise, you just read it into yourself, in your head. You look at the character, you know the definition of it. Great, move on. Yeah, your goal is just to understand the sentence. When you hear it in real life, great, you understand it.
Kan yang kita lakukan membentuk Indonesia tuh nggak ada kan. Yang kita lakukan membentuk Indonesia itu adalah niat politik. Oke itu. Orang dari beda banget kan, orang Sumatera, orang Jawa, niat
Yes, I would like to do it all. What is all exactly in this case?
politik. Oke itu. Niat politik. Oke itu. Orang dari beda banget kan, orang Sumatera, orang Jawa, orang Sulawesi, orang Papua kan beda banget kan. Cuman orang Sulawesi, orang Papua kan beda banget kan. Cuman waktu itu disatukan. Yong itu Yong Yava.
Reading, speaking, listening. Yeah, that's technically what you only want. And then the real writing is you typing. Honestly, it's such a nice feeling when you type it because you're not going to write it. If you want to make it even faster a little bit, just use your voice recognition. But that's technically speaking as a text to speech instead.
Yong Celebes datang ke Yong itu Yong Yava, Yong Celebes datang ke Jakarta Kongres Pemuda, itu mereka datang dengan bawa apa? Mereka datang dengan bawa apa? Bahasa Belanda. Mereka datang dengan bawa apa? Bahasa Belanda. Bahasa yang digunakan buat ngobrol bawa apa? Bahasa Belanda. Bahasa yang digunakan buat ngobrol bahasa Belanda karena mereka rata-rata orang terdidik kan, kayak kita aja sekarang anak Jaksel kan, bahasa pengantarnya bahasa pengantarnya bahasa Inggris kan.
Iya.
Nah, waktu dulu bahasa Belanda.
I'm guessing are you just studying while you're watching me or you guys are pretty dedicated?
Nah, akhirnya dipilih lah, ini kita nggak mungkin. Nah, waktu dulu bahasa Belanda. Nah, akhirnya dipilih lah, ini kita nggak mungkin.
This is hard.
Nah, waktu dulu bahasa Belanda. Nah, akhirnya dipilih lah, ini kita nggak mungkin nih, masa kita menggunakan bahasa Belanda, kita mau merdeka. Mungkin nih, masa kita menggunakan bahasa Belanda, kita mau merdeka kok. Akhirnya dicari-cari, akhirnya disepakatilah Melayu. Kenapa? Akhirnya dicari-cari, akhirnya disepakatilah Melayu. Kenapa nggak bahasa Jawa? Walaupun waktu itu paling banyak adalah perwakilan orang Jawa. Walaupun waktu itu paling banyak adalah perwakilan orang Jawa. Karena bahasa Jawa itu ada strata.
You don't have to watch it, honestly. Whenever you have a question, just send a message. But I appreciate anyone that just stays in general.
Walaupun waktu itu paling banyak adalah perwakilan Jawa. Walaupun waktu itu paling banyak adalah perwakilan orang Jawa. Karena bahasa Jawa itu ada strata. Nggak sesuai dengan konsep yang mau dibawa, yaitu egaliter.
Dalam juga ya.
Berarti yaitu egaliter.
Dalam juga ya. Berarti ya pemilihan itu ya.
Iya, gila.
Karena kan spiritnya persatuan kan.
Iya. Dan kalau kita ingat itu orang-orang yang datang di sana kan kayak Soekarno, lahir 1901. 1926 umur dia berapa sih? 25 tahun. Kita 25 tahun masih nongkrong di kafe.
Bener sih.
Ngomongin politik masih nongkrong di kafe.
Bener sih.
Ngomongin politik kagak.
Masih main
nongkrong di kafe.
Bener sih.
Ngomongin politik kagak.
Masih main Bumble.
Jadi beda banget sama orang dulu sama orang sekarang. Itu.
Bener.
Hidup berat gitu kayaknya.
Gokil ya. Tapi kalau kita lihat ya.
Berat gitu kayaknya.
Gokil ya. Tapi kalau kita lihat ya.
Okay. That's tiring. I need some food. Try to catch your language learning hidden secrets by osmosis. I'm getting a buff. It's like I'm getting a buff. Okay. Eighth value you get. I appreciate it. I can only tell you. Okay, 1 minute. I think if you're interested in streaming while studying, what you could do is having headphones so the viewers could come study at the same time without missing any potential advice you'll give. I'll be interested in that. Having headphones. I'm using earbuds, but I have a microphone here. Is it not clear, or am I doing something wrong? Or is it like the Sophie music thing? They just play music nonstop. As in, we don't hear the audio of your video while watching. The audio of my videos. So as in, yes, I'm able to control it, so I can just talk, and then all of a sudden, yes, it just mutes right away because this microphone has the ability to just mute anytime. Oh, so you might hear the buzzing sound. I'm guessing that's what you're saying. All right. All right, for now, I'm just going to take a quick break. I'm going to get some food. Maybe I can stop it here. No, I'll probably just take a quick 15-minute break. Yeah, that's funny. Sure, I could. Seriously, you want a Discord community? I'm not sure how. I never used Discord. I do have it. Let's see. How does this thing work? Do I just add a server, create my own? Sure. I don't even know what picture will work. Let's see. Sure. I guess that could work. I'm not sure what kind of stuff you would want, but you can start here. How do I use this? Add your first app, invite your friends. I can do that. Let's see. All right. If anyone has more questions, can feel ask. Otherwise, I might just stop here. This is just like the test stream. I can always do it tomorrow. So if anyone wants to come back tomorrow, I can do it at a similar time. And can't see the link. Really. You can't see or you can't click. You can't grab it. Let's see. How does this work? Can't see. How do I do this? Oh, okay, you're right. How about that? Yeah, that works. Okay. Even if you have any recommendations what you want me to do on the Discord, like release what I'm going to stream or updates, questions. Yeah, I'm new to this, so I can always ask questions. So how do you do it? Probably just remove this one. Sure. Events. How often should I stream every day? Sure, all those things, questions, people trying your method, streaming a schedule. Oh, that's really smart, actually. That's really smart. Voice channels somewhere, text channels. I'm gonna have to learn how to do the events. Okay, I'll figure it out then. I'll just start sending it on YouTube and Discord. Okay, that works. See, any more questions? Otherwise, I'll just hold it here. Or do you guys prefer I stay? Because I'm not sure how long you guys plan to stay, but it seems like there's people that still ask questions to ask. It might be fun. Okay. I never actually had people interested in what I'm talking about. So this is the first time for everything. I'm about to go to bed. Yep, sounds fair. Okay, I can do this tomorrow again, and I'll probably just find a time that works and makes sense. Maybe I'll just start from my 0 to the whole day finish. So, and probably like 7 a.m. US Pacific, which is 4 p.m. European probably. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. You guys have a good day now. You guys can have first, but I appreciate you guys' support, and I'll definitely do this again tomorrow. Take care.